All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys.
Hey guys, check it out. Shuffle good up.
All right, you know what? I give up. All right. Well, as you can hear, guys, welcome to episode 312 of the KBMOD podcast. It is March 4th, 2018, and we've got quite a crew with you tonight for this indefinite hiatus / farewell episode, which we discussed last week, and we told you that we would get some of the old guard and people that have been on the cast previously to join us tonight, and we did not disappoint. I think I have to shout out Katie Zen. He helped organize these lovely gentlemen, and I didn't shit. Okay, well, I was just trying to give you a little bit of credit, Katie, before you're erased from the annals of Katie. I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, you always be here.
I don't think it's pronounced anals, but
anals
in history. I guess around here it is.
Anals. Around here.
That's a different word.
But yeah, we've got, you heard Nick, obviously. You've heard Nick Jenkins. We've got Blah on the cast tonight. We've got John, who has gone by S&Ds and many other names throughout his career. And of course, we've got the normal crew. I'm here. We've got Brandon. We've got Katie Zen, and we've got Yingity Yang, aka Jacob. So I just had to get that in there.
Is your name actually Jacob?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know that.
Does he look like a Jacob to you? I think he looks
yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Oh, Sinwin. That's right. John also is going by Sinwin. So many names.
PP Bum Bum Dude.
PP Bum Bum Dude. Another
right.
John's fat member. I mean, lots of ones.
Slapdick Sally.
That's another one.
Wow. So many. So so this episode, like we said last week's was the normal kind of formula episode where we go through the news and we go through the questions and do that kind of stuff. And this week is just going to be kind of us looking back at all of the good times we've had on this podcast throughout the years. And, it's funny. I feel like, Brandon, we've been doing this thing where we keep saying, like, yeah, the podcast has been going for, like, I don't know, like 5 years. Like, we didn't really get a solid date on it. And so I was like, I really should go back and let's look at the very first episode and what the actual date was. So obviously to date, including this episode, we have done, I'm just gonna give you some numbers. We have done 312 episodes of this show. And as original members, Brandon and I, we have been, obviously we haven't been on every episode, but we've been on most of those episodes. And obviously we're the two remaining original members of the cast that still do the show. That averages, if you average that out for a 7 years of episodes, that's 44 episodes a year, which is not too shabby. I have to say that's pretty good. Obviously, not every week, but
and we have a few episodes in there, like our awards show and stuff, that we didn't count as episodes. So there's a little more content than that that's not like official.
Right. Exactly. The first episode, folks. So I rounded up with 7 years, but the first episode we ever did was recorded, and we didn't always do this on Twitch. I forget how many episodes. It was over 100, right, before we started doing Twitch?
I think it was like 50. It was
50?
It was almost a year or so before we started doing the podcast live. Before that,
gotcha.
Again, if you think back to 2011, like Twitch was in its infancy as it currently exists.
Exactly.
So we started doing it. Yeah, we started doing it. I don't remember the exact episode, but
in the 50s.
Yeah, Podbean. They cost
Podbean.
Such a throwback. I used to be on Podbean. Oh my God, dude.
The Podbean CEO.
So the first episode was recorded on July 20th, 2011. 2011. That is 6 years and 8 months ago. So obviously I rounded up to 7 years, but 6 years and 8 months worth of doing the show. And so there's
that's older than some people watching the cast.
Absolutely. Katie Zen wasn't even a thought in his dad's balls back then.
Yeah. Look at him now.
A thought in his dad's balls?
A thought, or yeah, I guess
do you think I guess some people think with their balls.
Yeah. And so one thing I wanted to reflect on, obviously, with that much time that has passed, which is crazy. Think about where I want each of the members of the cast to think about where they were. And I know we've got some new members, we've got some older members and original members, but what were you doing in 2011? Like, what were our lives like in 2011?
I was in fucking community college, and that makes me feel really weird.
You were in Minnesota.
Oh yeah, Minnesota community college.
I mean, that was almost 7 years ago. You were a teenager.
Technically, yeah.
Technically, I mean, you were an older teenager. I mean, you weren't probably at all thinking about living in LA.
No.
You had a totally different probably career trajectory than you have now.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that was.
There wasn't any.
And so yeah, look at that. Now you're an editor extraordinaire. You've been living in LA. In LA for how long now, Nick?
It'll be 5 years in May.
5 years. It's crazy. I mean, I had an IT job in Pennsylvania. I was doing YouTube with a Hopog HD PVR, aggressively sniping, doing dual comms with Woody's gamer tag and Wings of Redemption. I mean, it was a different time back then. John, you were working at a hospital, right? I think back then.
Yeah, my life having LAN parties at my house where people drove
right.
across the country to my 900 square foot apartment.
The best
eating
live
some
stream.
Pizza, Scott singing in the shower with dudes at the same time.
Yes,
like
the shower ballad.
You look down at your own dick and say, "Oh my God, I'm inadequate." Yeah,
that's right.
Remember that?
What a classic,
as you normally do.
Quality stuff.
The first, that was crazy. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, in your 900 square foot apartment, all of us came together to play games. It was crazy. So, all right, what about? Let's everybody else chime in. Blah, what were you doing in 2011?
I think by then I would have been working at something of a dead end job. It was like a local ADT competitor, like a home security company, where I would call police on people's houses that were being, presumably broken into, but 99% of the time was, just somebody coming home and not answering the phone in time, as you do. And somewhere along the line, I started getting into basically that kind of job. You have a lot of free time. You're sitting around waiting for alarms to go off. So with an internet connection, you start consuming a lot of gaming content. And then soon you want to start doing gaming content. And then soon you start using your work hours to produce gaming content. And then you end up on a podcast. But yeah, there was a couple of years of basically just that slog. And that would have been right smack dab in the middle of that.
Crazy. I mean, you weren't as near as much of a snack as you are now.
Good
old
fucking days of 60-second Let's Play. What a phenomenal YouTube series.
That was a great series.
God, that series was so good.
Dude.
Yeah, it's all right.
Dude, the fucking platinum egg lock you did. Ooh, one of the top 10 Let's Plays.
I still get people almost every cast coming in saying that they watched the Nuzlocke back in the day. Like, I don't know how that got as big as it did. It was bizarre.
Crazy.
You put a lot of effort into that too. Like, the overlay constantly changing for what happened in the game.
And I hated every second of it. I was like, why am I doing this? This is terrible. I was happy with how the overlay ended up looking, but in the second Let's Play, I put so much effort into that overlay, and no one commented on it. Everybody was like, everybody was kind of like, all right, yeah, that's good, but that's how it should be, you bitch. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
You made the right choice to leave that behind.
Yeah, Pokemon's a dead end.
So as you guys can't tell, this is what the cast is probably going to be. Put on your feelers, all right? It's going to be a lot of nostalgia. Some of you guys have listened to this podcast since episode 1. Some of you guys have come in, who knows, episode 100 or whatever else. I mean, lots of people came in at different times. We've had a lot of different cast members throughout the years. Obviously, I'm going to just read off the original cast members just to throw. We had Dan or Infinite Sad, Nip Nops. We had Bob Post was on the original episode.
Oh my God.
Of the KBMOD podcast. Shout out to Bob.
That was before he had 17 children, I think.
That's right.
How many kids has Bob had since we started the podcast?
I don't know. That's probably as many
16.
kids as we've had years. 6, 7. We of course had John. We had me. Nick was on the original episode, and then oh boy, someone who I would have loved to get, but he's so busy being so famous and amazing and talented in Canada. Private Joker, aka
God, Alex, what a guy.
Such a great guy. It was so funny. I was going through the KBMOD YouTube, and he did. I was watching some of the videos he used to do, and he did this series where he was talking over COD, and it was like what was it called? Bad Ideas or something like that. And he would you could just listen to Alex talk, and you were like, dude, this dude's a fucking thespian. He needs to be. And of course, he is, and he was. So Alex is killing it in Canada doing his acting stuff. But we definitely miss him. And of course, Brandon, you were on the original episode as well.
Was I?
You were? I mean, it says.
I'm pretty sure you said I was on the original episode, and that's not true either. So.
I don't. Well, maybe I was.
I wasn't on until episode 12.
You were on really early.
I think I was like a guest on a really early episode.
Yeah,
but I wasn't.
Maybe you weren't early. You know what it is? I think what happened was, since this was uploaded later, the current members of the podcast were put on the overlay.
Yeah,
of the original
that's
episode.
probably.
Yeah, because I think I remember there was specifically Brandon was kind of being interviewed in that episode.
Gotcha. That's what it was. Okay, so you guys came a little bit later, but anyway, you were at the pretty much towards the beginning. Brandon, what were you doing 6 years, 8 months ago? I know you weren't working for Twitch.
No,
I know what you were doing. You were fucking
tongue skiing.
Tongue skiing, but being so secretive about your online career because you were paranoid with all your consulting work. You were going to get fired. Remember that?
That is true.
I was traveling every week for work, and I remember
we were from hotels.
Yeah, we were.
I mean, that's the hotel review, bro.
Yeah.
I was. It was when we weren't doing the cast live at that time, and so we would do it. I think we'd record it on a weeknight, and so I'd have to record it usually from a hotel.
We did. It was weeknights.
Yeah, that was definitely kind of a more stressful time. I had to like pack up my laptop and my like blue snowball and stuff.
You always would be annoyed, right? Didn't you always get problems in security with the blue snowball? People would always be.
Yeah. TSA would always like
TSA
all in the micro, and that was. I mean, I think first I was doing it off of I think just like a little headset mic or something, and then I got a blue snowball, which was a big upgrade at the time. So carrying gear around and doing it from a hotel. Yeah, I think if you go back and listen to those early casts, the quality on some of those has got to be god awful, because a lot of us had like much worse mics. Internet connections would cut out all the time. The fact that we're doing this podcast with 7 people and like more or less all of the video is working is a testament to how far we've come in 7 years.
It's crazy how far we've come and how far technology has come, honestly, in 7 years. Because it was Skype or fucking nothing, really, at that 7 years ago. For at least what
talking about how far we've come. Scott made a baby.
That's true. Yes, I have. I mean, I was baby. I made a baby
with your penis.
Yes, and it's from my loins. I know. I didn't think I had it in me. It's crazy. Yeah, 7 years ago, like I said, I was before all the machinima stuff, before any of the Twitch streaming full time. Yeah, I've got a kid. Okay, so let's get to KD, though. KD, to really put it in perspective, because you're one of the younger members of the cast, just age-wise. What were you doing 7 years ago, KD? You're how old right now? 21, 22?
Yeah, 21 now. So I started listening around, I think like 50, like right before you made the Twitch jump. Yes. So, yeah, I must have been like
still a minor
or junior.
Still a minor.
Yeah. But I mean, outside of getting out of high school, going to college for a little bit, nothing has really like changed. I'm still, living with my parents and still, but
I love I want the record to stay.
I almost went in with a roast after, but he did it himself.
No, this is what I want the record to stay.
Maybe if I bring it up, then people won't talk shit about it. But no, it's still.
Katie is the most lovable person because Katie, it's not even a self-roast. You're just honest about your situations. And that's what I love about you. You don't beat around the bush. You say it like it is. So I just have to say, man, if this is the final episode and we don't ever get all the crew back together, I value that about you. Okay. You take a lot of shit for it, but hey, dude. So you're still living with your fucking parents, you loser. But what else was going on? Yeah.
I mean, shit, like.
I mean, you were going through high school. You were getting hair on your schmeckle, like around 16, 17.
Yeah, for the first time.
Like it was crazy.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, just finally. I mean,
but we also have to talk about. We have to talk about your arc onto the podcast, though, is because Katie, you're the real like dream story that some people. Well, I mean, if it's a dream to get on the podcast, for some people,
for some people, yeah.
Katie, we noticed you because you would send us the funniest fucking emails. Like,
yeah, that was. I think. That was back, like the really obscure, like really poor grammar questions, like didn't start till like 80 something. But God, I remember like I would send in like the most like shitty questions. Like now it's really odd to like be at this point where I'm looking at what people send in on Twitter. I'm like, okay, that question is just ass. I'm not going to put it on the cast. So I'm like, man, those are the questions I would send. Like, what's your favorite?
That's what's changed. Like, you've become more responsible with grammar, and you get offended when people type shit.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I hold it to
Well,
a higher
congratulations.
standard.
I mean, that's far more valuable than fucking getting out of your parents' house. So.
Yeah, honestly,
Right. Yeah.
that's
And especially now compared to then, and a large part of this is obviously being on the podcast, but I feel like I'm much more well-spoken, much more like
true.
outgoing.
Confidence.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That is honestly what taking part in content creation did for me as well, and I think that's like people like to mock content creation because it's like something anybody can do, but I think it's something that anybody that wants to should do because it is something anybody can do, and it will absolutely teach you things.
Scott, I can't.
Wait, what?
people are God damn it. People are posting
Oh fuck!
stuff from 2011.
No. That there was a live stream that I'm pretty sure I was freshly 18 at the time,
Yes,
putting dollar bills in my Zubas,
yes.
in the waistline
man.
of my Zubas.
Oh boy. It's a photo of me. I don't know what it looks like. I'm holding.
You're
my
touching
nuts.
your genitals. is what you're
I'm
doing.
touching my genitals. This was before. This was definitely before Twitch. I don't know. Was I?
No, that I'm pretty sure that was Ustream.
That was Ustream.
No,
yeah.
that might have been, no. I think it was Justin. It was Justin T.
I don't remember. There's a Mountain Dew in the why is there a Mountain
Paper
Dew?
towels
Yeah, fucking
on the glass table.
Oh, if people aren't watching the Twitch chat for this is just excellent. This is some of the finest shit.
Some really classic memes going on. So, audio listeners, this is why you should have watched live. Yeah, people are just posting some real classic.
Just go watch the
those
Twitch
slam
VOD if you're
tarts.
listening right now. Just go
Yeah.
watch Twitch VOD.
Yeah,
Watch the VOD,
chat.
screen cap the links in chat, try to type them in the browser in the most painful process. But no, Slam Tarts has it. You should hit up Slam Tarts, honestly, because he has the fucking
Got the
treasure
folder
trove.
on everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Some
Good stuff.
classics.
So all that to so obviously okay, Yang, and I know that you're a newer member to the podcast, but you're a little bit older than KD. But 7 years ago, Yang, how did you? I'm interested. I think you've told your story before, but how did you get involved in KBMOD originally?
I got involved in KBMOD because you were like you Scott were one of the first people I watched on Twitch. I think I must have found you through a Sark YouTube series or something like that. And I remember when I was
90% of Scott's
it was
demographic.
the zombie army playthrough. And I remember thinking like, oh my god, these two guys, because it was you, Scott, and Nick, who were playing with Sark, and I thought, oh my god, these two guys are so funny. And Sark had linked your YouTube channels at the time, and so I clicked on Nick's first.
Oh god. Fuck.
And so I contracted some sort of ancient disease from that, and then went over to Scott's channel, which was equally as dead.
Yes.
But you had your YouTube notification that you were live on Twitch.
Live on Twitch.
I'd never heard of this website before, right? And so I clicked on it and I went in there. And I always tell the story as like I'm very involved in Scott's community now. But when I went in there, man, I did not come back for a few months. The chat experience of like what people were saying. I'm pretty sure you guys were like discussing about like jerking off in space or something like that. It was just like a very sudden change of pace for me. But obviously through that, you started talking about this podcast that you do every week. And once I got acclimated to your chat, I ended up going over to KBMOD. I thought the cast was a lot of fun. I think I must have joined around the 150s, I think, maybe a little bit later. Yeah. And through that, I just ended up sticking around with the podcast a lot, and obviously getting more involved with your community personally as well. It was just a very long process of even like learning about Extra Life through you guys. And it's something that I take part in year round now. Has become a very large part of my life. But 7 years ago,
7 years, yeah.
7 years ago, I would have been just finishing up high school. Wow. I would have been just shedding my hardcore emo boy phase.
That's right. Oh my God, there's a picture of Yang
I think
as an
anyone
emo.
hasn't heard about this now. Like I wear collared shirts, black pants. I try to.
Can I just say, just to put it in
myself,
perspective for people that so as a third party, Yang comes to land looking like he's about to like go to his normal job. He's just so well put together. He's so polite. He's Canadian. You would never guess he went through an emo phase.
Which is a real contrast considering Scott is still wearing the same board shorts from 7 years ago.
Which is totally true.
Is there any netting left in those board shorts? Because I'm pretty sure it's just been. It looks like the fucking grate in Alien when acid drops on it. That's what the net looks like.
Anyway, sorry. So yes.
No, I had the whole package. I sat by myself on the bus. I put my backpack beside me so no one would sit beside me. I had my earbuds in, listening to My Chemical Romance.
Dude.
I had hair that was like right down to my shoulders. I had like the side sweep. I had the whole package going on. So I was just getting out of that. Had no idea what I was going to go to university for. Like I had no real vision for where I was going to go. And I wouldn't have guessed that in that amount of time I'm where I am now. Obviously, I moved out of my parents' place. I am currently trying to pay for my own place.
You hear that?
Okay, buddy.
Like if someone, never mind like 7 years, if someone like 3 years ago was like, do you think you'll be trying to like buy your own home at this point? I'm like, no, absolutely not. And now I've had like a full-time career as a museum professional, and I don't know, man, it happened all so fast. It's hard to think about all the small details.
It's crazy. Yeah. So,
hearing you talk about that, I really want to bring up like how, like, because I mean, all of you have been like connected, like personally, but, and like Ying talking about how you got involved in the podcast through, you know, like watching a APL and Sark video. I'm particularly proud of like how I found out about the KBMOD podcast, watching an ND Irish video, one of the best fun touches. One of the best videos on YouTube.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and then seeing special thanks to the KBMOD podcast, and then looking it up, and so yeah, that was just really brought me back.
I met him for the first time at the KBMOD land this last year. After living in Pittsburgh and never getting to connect for a year and a half, I lived in Pittsburgh, and Irish and I never connected. He's a great guy.
I want to meet Irish.
He's awesome. He's a good dude. So shout out to him.
I guess the other thing too that I didn't mention was I briefly mentioned it, but I learned about Extra Life through you guys and raising money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
Yeah.
I thought the KBMOD land was like one of the most fun things I've ever watched online, and it actually ended up inspiring me to start my own channel and stream that way and put all the proceeds towards Extra Life.
Yeah.
And that first year that I did it, which was just before the KBMOD land, I want to say 3 years ago. I set this goal of like $100, thinking like, no way. And I don't think we made it. I think we got to like 80 something or whatever. And I was like very proud of that. And since then, trying to keep up with the stream, last year, like just this past year, I set a goal of $1,000. And between the support from names that I recognize from KBMOD, from your community, and even like new people that I haven't seen anywhere else, which is pretty cool, we ended up tripling that goal. And raised over $3,000 for Extra Life through my page, which was like the fact that like joining KBMOD, for me inspired that kind of a change and had that big of an impact, not just on myself, but towards such a cool cause as Extra Life. Like
that's awesome.
I don't know, that stuff's amazing. So
that's good. It's always good to hear, because I think a lot of people when they think of KBMOD, okay, this is how I would describe. Like, I feel like there's people, like, a good example, of course, is Flom, who was earlier was subbed for 19 months, and we were like, what? Flom subbed to us? That's awesome. Shout out to Flom. But, like, when I go to events, KBMOD's a name that a lot of people, just because we've been around so long, like, we're not the biggest, we're not maybe the most prolific, but people have a lot of different things that they attach with KBMOD, hopefully mostly good. Sure, a lot of dick jokes and fart jokes and whatever else. But we've also, through Extra Life and the other stuff that we've done, have had the opportunity to, I think, like, make a pretty big impact, like you're saying, like the fact that you found out about us, you found out about Extra Life, and you've just like grown through there, which is pretty, and that's pretty cool. Like it feels good to have like a lasting impact in that way. So it's like, even if, you know, our footprint isn't going to be as big as it used to be because we're stepping down from certain things, I think like the almost 7 years that we've done, I really do feel like it's been really well spent. And it's awesome when people will come up, even people that like I don't really know, they're like, hey dude, weren't you on like that KBMOD podcast? And they don't know me from anything else.
Like, I have a great story involving that. It was E3 2013, like a month after I moved to LA. We went from the Machinima party to the Twitch party, which I could not get into because I was not 21.
Yes.
And just outside of wherever that party was, White Boy 7th Street comes up to me and he goes, "Are you Nick Fenton from the KBMOD podcast?"
What?
Wow. And I was like, "Yeah, I am."
That's amazing.
And then I took a cab home.
That is, dude, look at that. Even White Boy's the shout out.
The soon-to-be imprisoned White Boy 7th Street.
Hey, dude. Shout out to Alex, dude. What's he up to nowadays? Listen, dude, I won that PS4 years ago, and he still hasn't sent it to me. I'm pretty pissed. But
I honestly, the weirdest thing about that story is too is like there have been multiple times on the podcast where I've made fun of White Boy 7th Street. So I was like, really, like,
you were taken aback, like.
Yeah, I was like, I just really hope
Alex is nice, dude.
Is he gonna kick my ass or?
At this point, like, yeah, I mean, it's fun to make fun of the gift card era. But I mean,
absolutely.
I hold nothing against him.
No. And yo, shout out. He just got gifted a sub from shout out Sellout
Oh,
Owl.
what up?
Yo, white boy. Thank you so much, man. Welcome.
Don't watch the clip, white boy. You don't want to know.
Full circle. So yeah, exactly. But that's a great example of like stuff like that where you're just like, well,
The reach.
so random. The reach.
It's been really cool. Like I love hearing Ying's story about how he found out about Extra Life through us. I think that's one of the things that I'm proudest about like the podcast and just KBMOD in general. That I think we've increased awareness of stuff like Extra Life a lot over 7 years, of talking about it on the cast and doing, yearly events, which we do still plan to do that stuff again this year, even after the podcast ends. But it's been so cool. Like when I think about 7 years ago, Extra Life was still a pretty new thing that not a lot of people had heard about. So to be able to have played a part in a lot of the awareness that like people had in the early days, and now Extra Life I feel like is
close friends with the people that organize and run it now too.
Yeah, it's cool because I feel like Extra Life is like this household name now among the gaming community.
Definitely.
But
Brandon and I are going to Orlando tomorrow to go spend a week with those guys. That's pretty fucking cool.
Good timing.
No, you're right, Brandon. That whole point about how like it definitely wasn't a household name 7 years ago, and it really does feel like that now. It's crazy how it's grown. And to be part like towards the beginning of that was awesome. And like you said, be on a first name basis with all those guys and the people working on that is really cool. And that's the like I feel like that's ultimately, I know like I'm getting a little ahead of it, but like that's the legacy that we kind of want to leave with KBMOD. And again, like I know that we're not like we're putting the podcast on an indefinite hiatus after this episode, but KBMOD is still going to exist and stuff like that. And just because the podcast isn't here on a weekly basis doesn't mean KBMOD's going away. But in general, when I talk about even because the podcast is a pretty big part of the community, and when you talk about the Extra Life stuff and what happens even with like the Extra Life LAN with KBMOD, I feel like the legacy is going to be that kind of stuff, like the charity stuff with Extra Life. And also beyond that, though, I think like the memories that people have growing up with the podcast, because I think one thing we're going to be getting into pretty soon is all the outpouring of memories that you guys have shared with us. Like people, I don't know if we're going to read this one, but I remember seeing on Twitter, it was a dude, he was 15 years old when he started listening to the podcast, and he's now 23 in college. And, he listened all throughout his kind of those years. So I think that has an impact on a lot of people. And I think that is part of the reason that it feels like we've had, such a diehard following. Even if people don't follow like now, or they only followed a bit then, they feel connected to it. So that means a lot to all of us. So I'll just say that from me. And it's awesome to see like all you guys out here for this potentially final episode, at least as the podcast stands now. So all that being said, I think what we're going to do real quickly, because I think this would be interesting. Normally we would, talk about what we've been doing and then we go into news. The news section is instead filled with incredible amounts of nostalgia and comments from you guys, emails, also some questions as well mixed in there. But let's do what we've been doing / what we've been eating, and we'll combine those two topics together, because if one thing's true about the KBMOD podcast is we love to fucking eat and we love to have opinions about food.
Absolutely.
And we would joke about and say like we should start a food cast, which we never ended up doing, but so get an update. Like obviously there's been, some people will be like, where's John? What is John doing? I'm like, John's been at Twitch forever now, but people don't know. So you know what, John, let's start with you. You were on the podcast for a while. You've since stepped down a while ago, and you're
just as a heads up, just so everybody is clear about how fucking awful Brandon is as a human and what a terrible friend he was.
Okay.
The reason that I left the podcast is because Brandon wanted us to take it more seriously and didn't want me playing video games during the podcast.
That is true.
Just putting that out there. I wanted to fucking play video games during the podcast, and he was like, no.
Dude, I know Keemstar was subbed to this channel as a gift.
I did not leave this podcast. I was told that I could not play video games on a video game podcast.
Brandon, let my fucking brother frag, all right?
Fuck, right?
God,
no, but I mean, I've been at Twitch for more than 6 years now in San Francisco. I got married. That was fun. Bought a house. Became sort of an adult. Still talk about dicks a lot. But what do? I eat, I go bass fishing, I play video games.
Nice.
And that's really about my entire life. And it's not super exciting. I found a new love of traveling, so like I like to travel places now. And by new love, I mean I've gone on one vacation. But I enjoyed that. I went to Iceland. That was fun.
You went to Iceland.
I did, yeah. But no, I mean nothing much has changed as far as like my hobbies, other than rediscovering my love for fishing. And I rediscovered my love for fishing because I grew up as a child like right on the river, so I spent a lot of my childhood fishing. But I work with a guy. He'd recently left to start his own company, but I'd worked with him, and his mother came to Twitch for the first time, and I got really, really, really drunk with her. And we were talking about like how much he liked fishing, and I drunkenly said I would buy half of a bass boat with him.
Oh no!
So she told him that the next day, and I realized I couldn't lie to his mom. So I became the owner of a bass boat, and rediscovered my love of bass fishing. That's awesome. That's an interesting story.
That's a lot, though. But see, I mean, you say that like not much has changed, but I mean, like you said, man, marriage, you own a house, you know, you're bass fishing. I mean, come on, that's a lot of change. That's good. Going to Iceland on vacations, dude.
Yeah.
But wait, how long did you say? How long you been at Twitch now total? I don't know if you said that, but
like 6.5 years.
6.5 years. Yeah. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. There you go. You hear it from the source himself. Okay.
Playing Fortnite.
Playing Fortnite. Is that your go-to? Are you playing anything else, or is it just Fortnite all the time?
I mean, I still play WoW, but mega casually. Battalion. I really enjoy Battalion. Not solo though. It's terrible.
Yes.
Cool. I don't like Overwatch. I think I might be the only person that doesn't. I just I love Overwatch. I just get so angry at it.
Oh, okay.
And then Diablo with Brandon lately. But
nice.
Mostly Fortnite. Yeah.
Cool. All right, there you go. So that little update on John for everybody that has been asking, because people ask John. People ask a lot, just like not even about the podcast, but just be like, "Yo, does John like stream, or has he uploaded videos on YouTube?" I'm like, I don't think John's uploaded a video on YouTube for a minute, but who knows?
Yeah. Let's do a KBMOD COD 4 Pro Mod night.
COD 4. Yeah, COD.
Have you heard of Battalion, John? That's pretty much like COD Pro Mod. Is like
oh no,
I did.
He just.
Bye, John.
All right.
Wait, what? What?
He just said that he's been playing.
Oh, did you really? Oh, shit, dude.
Dude, this is why you can't play games on the
fucking playing
cast.
video games, dude? What are you playing?
That's why you need
I just
focus
love
on
that
the cast.
Podcast now.
He said it by name, and Katie, you just like totally. I guess you didn't hear him.
I apologize.
Katie's playing games during the cast.
What game are you playing, Katie? Katie, what game are you playing right now?
I'm playing the pony fighting game, dude.
Oh my god!
Oh, God.
He has to be kicked. He's finally.
I was just going through my email, just looked at that game and went, "What the fuck?" Like, it is bizarre that not only that you mentioned that, but that somebody in the 7-person call that I'm in right now is playing that shit. What the fuck?
Was this like one of those like PAX emails with the free code type situations?
No, it's not. It looked like a fun
It was a free code, yeah. Like I'm still trying to unsubscribe from PAX mailing list.
Nick got the email, but Katie's then went out of his way on Steam to find it.
Katie's then been looking forward to this. He's been hyping it for a couple episodes of the podcast. So.
This is why the podcast has to end.
Exactly.
Man.
God, I love you, Katie. All right, well, since you stole the spotlight there and asked John about Battalion, actually, no, we
know Katie's been living at his parents.
Yeah, we know what Katie's up to. So we'll do us. We don't even really need to update everybody on that. This is more for like Nick, John, and of course.
Katie's backdrop has gotten less depressing over the years.
Katie's?
Yeah, it used to be really, really sad.
That's true. What do you mean? What, like just a white wall, or what do you?
I don't know. I feel like there was a couch back there.
There's a couch still behind him.
Well, I mean, but it was like covered in. I don't know.
Yeah,
for some reason in my mind, I'm remembering it like it was the set of the parents from Everybody Loves Raymond's house. Like, that's what it looked like back there. But I don't know why. It's not actually what it was like. But
man. Yeah, no, Katie, your room has come along over the years. I have to say,
I think he just looks hard right now. He's got the all black look. He looks like he's.
I told him that I think
wearing
Katie's
a fucking beanie inside.
Yeah, the beanie inside is hard. I think it's pretty good. All right. Well, what about? All right. Well, Nick, you were talking. I mean, update the people. You've been on more often than some other members, but fill the people in.
Wait, what?
Just what you've been doing since like the last
Since 2011.
Oh,
since 2011.
Since 2011, started out on the podcast of making jokes about liking dudes, and then here we are now, actually liking dudes.
God, that is so true.
Was it awkward then, Nick? Like when we were making dick jokes, or is it like
towards the beginning, as time went on, it was like there was me I was like, I didn't want to make the jokes because like it kept getting more awkward. I also just I learned this yesterday. This is a really fun fact about me. The first autofill when you search NFen now is NFen gay, which is really sick, guys.
Dude,
really sick.
I remember when you came out to me, like you pulled me aside at an E3 party.
Oh yeah.
And you told me like this real heartfelt thing, and like I had no response, and I think you expected something.
That's for every time you do it.
Dude, like awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
You really expected something.
Well, that was towards you were one of the earlier people, so it's like when you've only done it a few times.
I was like, cool, dude. You want to get drunk and go to Denny's? Like,
and we did, and
that's what we did.
Yep, that's great.
Joel puked in downtown.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay, yeah. I mean, and other than that,
that's what changed. Nick Fenton likes dudes.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nick Fenton likes dudes. Yeah.
Let's see. I kind of went through a phase where I hated video games, and I'm finally coming back around. I'm finally
you kind of got turned off from video games for a while.
Yeah, it was like a 2-year I would play video games from like here and there, but I would never stick around, and I'm finally back into like a routine of playing games on like a nightly basis.
Well, you got into like a pretty heavy music phase for a while, right? Like you were doing shows and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you still do that, but not. I mean, that was like your life.
Not with the frequency. Yeah, EDM it's your life. When you pick up EDM, it's your life.
It becomes a part of you.
Oh. I'm out here smoking Camel Crushes at main stage,
Holy shit! I had a time machine on Facebook, Nick, of you. God, I forgot to post it, but it was the first trap show you ever went to.
Oh,
yep, 6 years ago or something, 7 years when when you came to visit.
I
was
got
like,
so
holy
drunk
shit.
at the show, and I was throwing my head around so much for 2 weeks. When I went back to Minnesota, my neck was fucked up. I was so hammered. And
God, that was.
I was also of legal drinking age.
Yes, of course he was. He was. Who was at that show? I don't even remember who played at that show. I feel like
it was Bro Safari.
That's right. It was Bro Safari. Man, look at that, dude.
And here I am now, an actual trap lord.
Yep, it's crazy. All right, there you go. Well, and for the people, do you want? For a while, you were secretive about what your career is. I feel like for a bit, but
well, that was at a request from Jordan. I mean, I've been doing the Captain Sparkles thing basically. Not basically. I have been doing it the whole time I've lived here.
How long have you been doing editing for Jordan at this point?
I mean, it'll be 5 years in May.
5 years!
Wow,
it's crazy.
So, dude, I got thousands of hours logged into Minecraft footage.
You do.
And I still don't know shit about that game. I don't know anything.
All right. Blah. Talk to me, man. Same thing. Just update on anything really. Any of those pieces you want to hit on.
Well, I was doing the podcast regularly for a while. It was, I don't know exactly when I came on. It was like somewhere after the 1 year mark, I think. And then
and he muted.
You just cut out.
I think you muted.
Content creator.
Oh, you're getting the Nick Fenton. You're getting the Nick Fenton.
Oh no, he's getting treatment.
You guys really can't hear me?
No,
you're back. You're back.
I didn't even hit anything. All right, well.
This calls for a.
The Jew harp. Oh God. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was blonde on the podcast anymore. No, it was not. I did not leave because of the no games rule. Although I will admit that the no games rule definitely made things a little unattractive. But like it made sense. Like we're putting on a show. I get it. But it was more of like a time thing. At that point I was working full time at Twitch. I quit YouTube. I started exclusively streaming on Twitch for content creation. Then Twitch hired me. Then once working at Twitch, it just became way too busy. I just really couldn't, even though it was like obviously on an off day, I couldn't focus on multiple things. So can I see forearms? No, I'm telling a story.
Oh yes.
So I worked there for about 2 years. They fired me, and then I went full-time content creation, and kind of been doing that and living in. I worked in San Francisco, worked and lived in San Francisco for about 2 years. Then moved up here to Portland, where it's like rainy and depressing all the time. Like I would say for most people, a nice like solid life hack is like try moving to Washington and becoming nihilist. It's pretty cool.
That definitely is the place to do it.
Does it really rain as much as they say? Is it seriously like 200 plus days a year?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like it's usually raining, especially it's particularly during the cold season, which is a little rougher out for me because I get like seasonal depression, and so like that's just like 8 months out of the year I don't see the sun, so it's a little rough.
Yeah, that would be an adjustment.
Buy like an in-home tanning bed or something.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It would definitely help. But I'm most likely going to be moving back home to the Philly area in the next like 8 months. I got a puppy. That was like a big life change for me. She's asleep right back there on the couch. You probably can't see her. She's just like a little.
She's been moving around.
Yeah, she's been.
I've been watching. Don't worry.
She's awesome though. She's a half pit bull, black lab, and golden retriever mix, and she's just like a big ball of energy, total nut. She's hard to keep up with. She just turned a year old like 2 weeks ago, and she's just like unstoppable. There's no end to this dog's energy. So a lot of my life now is just like trying to have the energy to cast after a day of trying to exercise and keep up with this puppy. So I'm like I'm like a full-time dog dad now, basically. But I'm seeing somebody now. I got a girlfriend, long distance relationship with a girl living in Mexico. And I got more ink. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. I learned how to
give us just real quick. I know can you do a quick forearm just pose real quick just for old time's sake?
I guess the only way to pose forearms is to cross them.
Yes. But you've always had. I mean, you're in really good shape, I think, comparatively when you first started the cast. So I just have to say, your forearms they continue to impress.
Thank you. That the forearms, I don't have to do anything. That's all genetic. I ended up taking a picture on Twitter. Me, my dad, and my brother all standing together doing this, and we all just have the same like Popeye forearms. It's just built in.
Good stuff. Awesome, man. All right. Well, I wanted to kind of talk to the guys who haven't been on as consistently or were on previous episodes or previous iterations of the cast and kind of fill that in for you guys, fill in the blanks a little bit. Obviously, you know what most of us are up to as we're on pretty much every week. But did we have anything from either Katie or Ying or myself or Brandon that we wanted to share before we jump into the real nostalgia section of the cast and start reading the stuff that you guys sent us, which will probably get us all weepy and it'll be nasty. So
jump in.
Yeah,
I did want to add, as far as the gaming topics go, Fortnite sucks, and all y'all playing it have yet to realize that.
See, I love this because Blah was always the one with the opinions that nobody liked. So
I'm playing it too. I'm mad about my own opinion because it's like the best BR out right now. I'm not debating that. I'm just saying it's a shitty made game. It's just shitty. It doesn't have any competition because PUBG is like an incomplete, buggy hack mess. And then it's got like what the fuck? What is also going to compete with H1? Who the fuck played H1 in the past year? No one.
Sorry, dude. A lot of fun staying with Brandon and John and blaming everything on Hardballer.
That's how you play it.
I can imagine.
Here's something that has changed since the last time I was on the podcast.
Yeah,
Hardballer is good at video games.
Damn, got him.
He's actually always been pretty solid.
Hardballer is good at video games.
Is he good at Fortnite? I haven't actually ever played.
He's really good at Fortnite. He's sick at PUBG.
Okay.
Probably still bad at Counter-Strike, but otherwise
doesn't play Counter-Strike anymore. Wow, that's good. You just gave Hardballer the biggest head for the rest of his life.
He's fucking good at video games now.
He already clipped this.
Yeah, he's clipping it. He's jerking off.
Sending it to his family.
Daddy noticed me. That's good. All right. Good stuff. All right. Well, beyond that, if we're all in agreement that Fortnite sucks, is that the official?
I think that's everyone's opinion now. Now that
yeah.
I've said that, yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's probably how
it's
that
weird.
works.
Like I keep trying to build with the fucking joysticks on the PS4, but I have problems. So I'm kind of with you on that. It's difficult. But I feel like the more gifted player base is on PS4, so I'm totally.
If you do really want to watch some funny shit, watch some people playing Fortnite on console. It's just like watch.
And then look at the people that are defending the console players
Can't
on
you
Twitter.
get matched with people that are playing on like don't the people that are playing on console get matched with people playing on PC, or is that like coming in the future?
I don't know if
I heard something about that.
Why would
so,
that
that's
ever come
hilarious.
anywhere?
I hope they do.
I'm pretty sure that's might be a thing.
Not like that's a horrible idea.
Listen, my
That's worse than
Shadowrun days taught me something, and it's
Shadowrun.
it's really fucking fun shooting people that can't turn.
Like can't turn around.
Sitting there like
Yeah, like you can see them, like the thumbstick is hitting like as far as it can go, and they're just turning. Just it's the best.
I love it. It's like watching boxers go at it with like Hulk gloves.
Yeah.
Everything is so slow and unwieldy.
Oh, man. All right. Well, we won't talk too much about games. Let's get into some of the memories. We have quite a full doc of stuff that you guys have sent us. So whoever wants to kick it off, be my guest. I mean, let's see. The first one comes from Base Disciple. These are some from Twitter. We also have stuff from email. Obviously, we couldn't get to, we couldn't get to everybody. There was a lot of stuff, but we just picked some at random. So if you don't get on here and your memory's not on here, just know that we saw it. I looked through that thread. We looked through the emails, and we do appreciate it. But this comes from Base Disciple. He said, there are too many wonderful memories to pick a favorite, because we had asked, send us your memories, send us things that you enjoyed about the cast or whatever, send us an emoji. I'm sad to see something that has been a constant part of my life for so long come to an end. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you for putting a smile on my face for as many hours as you have. Farewell and stay base. So just a simple, kind message, though. I kept waiting for like the pun, like the meme at the end, but
yeah,
just a nice message. So appreciate that, Base Disciple. I think this is particularly interesting because this does include a roast. This is from Gatman94 on Twitter. And he said to us, I still have episode 18 downloaded on my phone. I was away from home with my family, and I used the last bit of data that I had to download it. The episode isn't that great, but I could never bring myself to delete it. And then he sent a screenshot of episode 18 on his phone that was downloaded.
It's on his SD card. It's
on his
legit.
SD card. It's incredible.
We will remember your data.
Yeah, and to be fair, I went back and listened to that episode. Yeah, it was pretty fucking trash. So you're right. I don't know why you still have it. And this was continued from him. Sorry. He also said, I spent days of my life looking into the KBMOD chat until the memes consumed me, and I could go on no longer. Actual life events were always great because it meant my hobby wasn't a complete waste of time. It felt good for such a small group to beat Rooster Teeth that first year, and that's true. We did.
Yeah.
And
never
I think no years after that, but
Yes.
but that first year.
But that, hey,
We were the trailblazer,
we were.
Yeah, no. I honestly still get people coming up to me every now and again, like Extra Life people that I like just started at Extra Life or whatever, and they know about KBMOD. Like I feel like they're still the organization still recognizes KBMOD as like a major starting influence.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
So
yeah, I mean, I have 2 plaques from them on my wall in my office. Like, still,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
2 of
one
my
of my
favorite
kitchen.
things I have hanging up.
and I think it's good too. I think the point that Gatman makes about like making a hobby that like some people would view as a complete waste of time, but actually using it for something for good, even though we know it's not a waste of time, but yeah, like doing the charity, getting involved with Extra Life. I feel like that probably for a lot of people, it's good to be able to merge a hobby, something you enjoy doing, with a good cause. So,
And then doing that good cause better than somebody bigger than you. Take that. We are better people.
Gatman, I mean, he has been in so many of our streams, and
Yeah.
like he's
Shout out
been
to him.
one of our mods forever. So, big thanks to people like that.
Absolutely. So continuing through, got a lot of stuff here. So yeah, that was from Gatman again. Yeah, shout out to you, man. This is from Aunt Meme on Twitter, and this is just sharing some moments. One of my favorite moments was when Nick told the story of Hardballer's parents spit roasting him, probably why he is vegan now.
I don't even remember that, honestly.
That'll do it.
I vaguely recall it was very graphic.
I'm sure I said it, but I've said so many fucked up things, especially not even just about Hardballer's parents, but to Hardballer's parents.
Yes. What, over the mic or whatever?
Yeah, all over Discord, TeamSpeak, whatever it may be.
Oh my God.
I once asked Hardballer's mom if she eats ass.
I remember hearing
that's
about that.
right, you did.
There's a recording of it
forgot about
somewhere.
that.
If anybody knows where it is or has it, I need it.
Wow. Thanks to everyone at KBMOD and all the memories you made. We are fortunate to have had something that makes farewell so hard to say. Very true. Meme. Appreciate that. On Twitter, this is from Commander YOLO, or CMDR YOLO. I'm assuming that's Commander. Thanks for all the laughs. You guys have been a big part of my life for like 5+ years. Have listened to almost every episode, the first 200 on so many times over. Miss having Alex, Enfen, Blah, Dan, both Johns. Also, Brandon was raised by 2 Wendy's. And
Wait, what does that mean? I need an explanation, Brandon.
Yeah.
Like 2 of the fast food restaurants, because that's actually a lot of parents.
Yeah. Is
Takes
that
a lot of people to run a Wendy's and raise a child?
See,
The
some
other
of these KB mode memes are so deep, I don't even remember them.
They're so
I was gonna say,
old.
I feel like there's a meme that maybe I've forgotten.
Yeah. Do you have 2 lesbian moms named, but they're both named Wendy?
I'm
Possible.
trying to remember.
It's possible. Like you don't even know your own parents. I don't remember them quite.
But that's the thing. It's like when you've had this. I mean, we've had almost 7 years of content. It's like it's impossible to remember it all. But it's like in the deep recesses. Like sometimes it like triggers, and I'm like, okay, I can remember that one. All right. That was from Commander YOLO. Thank you, man. This is from Asian Pikachu on Twitter. And he said, what? No, that's a shame. Hashtag KBMOD is one of the reasons inspired me to create a podcast show. Been a fan of the show since episode 32. His favorite memory was Volition cursing on episode 100.
Ooh.
And Brandon said, get shit on. And I do remember that moment very clearly.
Yeah, that one I remember.
That was...
Yeah, Brandon wouldn't curse because he had a corporate job.
Because of the corporate job.
Afraid that he could get fired for saying shit on the internet, which is fucking hysterical.
I mean, it's not unrealistic.
I mean, but Brandon was so tame in general, though. Like he was never going to do anything that, you know. I think what Brandon was really doing was shielding his career from the people that he cohorted with, us, right? Because he get fired for stuff we said.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
so much him. So he
It's
stayed on.
more of you know, guilt by association sort of thing.
Yes, I totally believe that. All right, these are some more memories. But before we move on and read some of these more, because we're going to get some emails, let's talk about some of our own favorite memories, if you have any that stand out. I mean, I know there's a lot. I hate these kind of questions in general, just like I hate like top 10 list or whatever, because it's like I like everything. I like the whole body of work. But any moments that stick out to you guys that
the cat.
It has to be the cat. The cat might be the funniest moment of
the
my
number
entire
one.
life.
In my book, it is
the
number
funniest
one.
moment of my entire life.
Yeah, that poor fucking cat, man. Never saw it coming. And yeah, I'll never forget. I still have not run into that friend or his brother ever since then. I'm kind of like tangent friends with them on Facebook.
You should just send him a message. Be like, hey, remember when you did this?
Yeah, remember when you fingered the cat? What's funny is like I kind of creep on him, and like he's got 3 kids now and stuff, and I always want to be like, remember that's what I tell on Facebook. But I always want to kind of message him and be like, dude, you remember that time like all those years ago?
Wait.
What's up?
Back when Scott told this story, he had 0 cats.
Who had 0 cats? Oh, me. Yeah.
How many cats do you have now, Scott?
Jesus Christ, that's really true.
I
have
more
4
than
fucking cats.
kids,
I
I
have 4
think.
cats. Holy shit, that's so true, man. Maybe that was the genesis of me. Holy fuck, I have 4 cats. But I've never stuck a finger in any of my cats' asses. I want that to be clear. I've never done that.
Will they testify to that?
And also, none of my cats have ever been in heat or whatever, which was his reason for saying he thinks it's another cat when he stuck his finger in the fucking thing's asshole. So, if you don't know what we're talking about, too, people are like, "What the fuck?"
Go watch the animated version.
There's an animated version of the story that Benjamin Basic, shout out to him, is also working on a game. Talk about people coming far. You can check out that story in its entirety, but yeah, it's just the cat story. You can probably find it. It's on the KBMOD YouTube channel. Definitely scarring, but that's a Vincent one. That's really old. That's towards the beginning. Anything else? What else comes to mind? Any other moments, things that have happened?
Definitely the LANs, meeting up for the LANs, and just getting to see everybody, chill, get even just like after the fact, and like just having that feeling of like a job well done after the LAN was over, and just like getting something to eat the next morning was always nice.
Mike's KBMOD confession with Batman.
Oh my god!
The KBMOD confession booth created some pretty good memorable GIFs that are still out there floating on the internet.
Oh yeah.
Also,
it's funny. It's weird how
Dan Cakes is definitely a special one.
Oh god, yeah.
Yes, Dan Cakes. The fact that
there's so many from Extra Life, Rock Band in general.
Hardballer taught me how to make my eyes look like they're pointing in opposite directions in a photo, which is an art that he's apparently mastered. He not only mastered, but was able to just very simply convey to me, a person who had never even realized that was something you could do. I instantly got it. First try.
I mean, we talked about it, but I mean, Katie Zen talked. I mean, the Katie Zen fucking Halloween special email. Probably one of the great. Anything Katie Zen really sent in his prime. I don't know, Katie Zen, what you would say your prime was, but there was a section where a period of time where you could not miss. Also, this is a more recent one, which I think is a totally off the wall thing. I would say within the past year, Katie Zen told a story about how he left a Yelp review about Wendy's service, and to me, it's one of the greatest stories ever. Because I just love that you went to the trouble to roast the Wendy's people, and like remember when I was like, man, that's like something like a dad would do, because you were so Katie Zen was so incensed. Wait,
sorry.
Wait, what?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Katie Zen was so incensed about. I forget what happened, Katie, exactly, but people were being rude.
It sounds like you just kept saying incest.
I think he's just going.
Yeah,
I'm trying to say incense. It's difficult. It's a difficult word. So there's that. I'm trying to think what else, man. There's so many different ones that we've had over the years. It's hard to pick.
I mean, not to toot my own horn, but the Cinnamon Toast Crunch mattress.
Yes, Cinnamon Toast Crunch mattress is great.
There was the historical porn episode.
Historical porn.
That was a great one.
Absolutely. That was a good one.
You
know who was on that cast for that episode? That was Diction was on that episode.
Yeah, Sham was on it. Yeah.
Sham actually started the historical porn discussion actually. Back then, so yeah, that was a really good one.
Museum stories, pretty good.
Museum stories, absolutely.
The gay surfertage.
Gay surfertage.
Oh yeah,
classic.
Oh my god, Blad, your quotes from the gay surfertage. Oh my god.
Everybody says that. Like everybody always like mentions me, and I thought Dan was the funniest one in that video.
Well, Dan was great in that too. But you guys were playing off each other.
Yeah,
like
it was
the
a
gay
good
surfertage
night.
is one of the fun. Like, and the fact that because of the related, like the tags, the related videos for that were so filthy on YouTube. Like people would click the gay surfertage and they'd be like, my YouTube is fucked now. Like it's totally terrible.
How did the adpocalypse not start with the gay surfertage?
It should have. It should have.
The gay surfertage made me. Yeah, I think it made me the man I am today. That is true.
God, just some classic memories. All right, let's get back to this. If you think of any more, feel free to chime in, because we're gonna get into some long form emails here actually pretty soon. All right, we've got one from Darkwing02, who is, I think, our longest sub, right? 63 months.
63 months.
63 months. He has been subbed to the KBMOD channel, which I think is as long as you could be subbed to anything, or is there streaks longer than that?
No,
We
there's
were trying to figure that out.
I think there are people longer like on Twitch, but as far as on KBMOD, that's about as early as you can get.
That's gotta be. He says episode 181, as far as memories, featuring Blacklighted Tech being sleep deprived, hating on Kingdom Hearts, and he said that playing Kingdom Hearts made him want to die, so he came up with the term. That's right, Jopa, which is jack off, pass away. For when you Jopo so hard you never wake up. To which Dan, aka Nipnops, coined it the old Paterno, which is an incredible quote. Holy shit, I forgot
The
about
old
that.
Paterno.
That's a great one. That's a fucking great one.
That Kingdom Hearts rant, it has like never stopped. It's still one that like my chat regularly goads me into engaging again, because Kingdom Hearts is one of those games that like if you play related games, and if you're like Final Fantasy, RPGs, like anything, somebody will always come in. People love Kingdom Hearts, and like if you try to put yourself through it, it's just so infuriating. So it's just this like fire that just keeps getting reset, like just flaming up again, like once a cast. It's a problem.
You're never going to give up. So you're always going to hate Kingdom Hearts. You're always going to feel the same way.
It was a tech
I
support
don't know
phone
about
call
that,
from
actually.
Fuzzy Otterballs, by the way.
What was it?
What just happened? You got
It was a tech support phone call from Fuzzy Otterballs.
Fuzzy Otterballs, my man, Justin. Good stuff.
I don't know that I will always hate Kingdom Hearts, because my issue with Kingdom Hearts is that the story makes no sense, but fans swear that the story makes sense if you play every episode or every game in the franchise. Problem is, every game on the franchise came out across like 6 or 7 different platforms, like 3 or 4 of which nobody owned. And then, but the thing is nowadays it's possible to get the whole story because they release all these anthologies on one platform, which makes sense. So it might now, like 10 years after the fact, while everybody's still waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3, it might now be an okay game. I don't know.
The story is still absolute ass. As someone who has played every Kingdom Hearts multiple times, it is shitty. It's so nonsense.
I'm trying not to like judge a game that I haven't played because I feel like I do that a lot, but this game is like, I've seen clips of like the fucking bullshit anime character sitting around eating popsicles. What's the fucking popsicle? Stop eating popsicles. It's like the most like, let's just go down the list and check off every anime trope that we can. What's the blue popsicles? This is what they eat. This is what they eat.
So do you guys think, real quick on the Kingdom Hearts thing, do you think it's like rose-colored glasses from kids who played it when they were really little, and it's like, it's Disney characters, so I like it? Or
people just like shitty games.
They just like
I have never played a Kingdom Hearts game.
I've never been tempted, but I'm not a huge Disney fan anyway, so.
It's honestly like,
I feel like
pretty good.
Kingdom Hearts is like Dark Souls, and I'll just watch Nick play it instead.
Yeah.
When Nick first moved to San Francisco and he lived with me for like a month, I spent most of my time watching him play Dark Souls, and that was how I indulged in Dark Souls. Like I'm not gonna fucking do that.
We mostly went to work, but yeah, at night it was a lot of Dark Souls. But no, Kingdom Hearts is like, I would probably say it's not even like bad. It's not even so bad that you want to watch somebody else play. It's the story that makes no sense. It's like the gameplay is actually kind of good. The fusion between Final Fantasy and Disney actually pretty good. It's when like you start to like, all right, so where's this narrative that it keeps putting together going?
Oh my
The
god.
answer is nonsense. It's going to nonsense, and then it's going to plow into nonsense and keep going further into this deep, never-ending wall of nonsense.
All right.
Yeah, I have a distinct memory of being just utterly confused about it. Then the one on the 3DS came out. I'm like, okay, maybe they'll start to wrap it up. Nope. Like 10 different characters that were dead in past games were revived through time travel.
Dude, now that's crazy.
Yeah, eat your heart out, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
God.
Eat your
What is
fucking heart
going
out.
on in your room, John?
I just wanted to see what it would look like when it's dark out.
It looks like you're in a space station that's like evacuating. You look like the Cloverfield paradox.
That's great. All right. Well, thank you, Darkwing, for those memories, and also starting a Kingdom Hearts discussion. Good stuff. All right, this is from Alec Reniker on Twitter, and he said, another favorite podcast bites the dust. I used to listen to 5 podcasts, but I had to settle for one when my drive to work became shorter. I think my favorite memory was the hot dog question. The reason it was my favorite was because not only did it make you laugh, but you made someone who doesn't listen to the cast laugh as well. I'm assuming to the cast he means. Really going to miss only wanting to listen to this cast every week.
Someone remind me of the hot dog one, please.
Hot dog.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is it a sandwich question?
I think that actually became like a meme too, but I think that was us. I think.
I mean, I don't know that we can take full credit
No,
for it
I don't
being.
think. I think we were towards the beginning of the timeline.
We were
We
very
were towards the
early
beginning
in
when that started
meme's
getting asked,
history.
but it never died. It's continued to go on for like as many years
it's taking
as
different
humans.
forms, like there's Pop-Tarts, ravioli, and that shit like that.
Exactly. But still, people will try to. It got to the point where like we're not answering the fucking hot dog is a sandwich question anymore. But
But
we did give
we
it.
answered that like years ago, and that meme
Right.
is still going. I feel like
Right,
we were
but I'm
very
saying is,
early
like,
on that meme.
Not only did we answer it years ago, we've just and then like you said, Nick, it's evolved, and then we go into deep discussions about those fucking retarded like it's Pop-Tart ravioli, and we'll spend 30 minutes on it. So I think I'd like to say we deep dived into those food questions and took them pretty seriously. So at least we did that. But here we go. And the chat's already now they're discussing it. Again,
Cereal
so.
soup, all that
Right.
kind of bullshit.
Exactly.
Cereal's definitely
That's
not
so
soup, but I will
No.
stand by a hot dog being a sandwich.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for those. Thank you for those memories, Alec. Another one from Twitter. Sayutsi says, all my closest friends today are
Steph,
thanks.
Nobody knows how to say your alias, by the way, Steph. Just
it's Suitsy. That's how I should say.
Suitsy. Yeah.
Okay.
Just Steph.
I can see that. All my closest friends today are thanks to the KBMOD podcast, pushing me to get into PC gaming. Great memories. So thank you, Steph, for that. And I feel like this is a good launching off point to talk even amongst ourselves about, like, I met so many, like, everybody here. I'm trying to think, did I meet everybody here through KBMOD? Other than
me.
Yeah, like, what about you, Nick? We didn't meet through KB, did we?
I made you famous, got you a job at Machinima shit.
That's right.
No, I think exactly. I met you through John.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, John is the crux of it all. I think everything else was flowered around John's blowing me up. That dual com. Remember we did the dual com way back in the day. Way back when you were making YouTube
with Wings, Woody, and Kyle.
Okay, listen. I did do a quad com with Wings, Woody, and Kyle, and I talked for I think 3 minutes of the entire thing. I didn't get much word in edgewise, but but talking about just community and the amount of stuff and people that we've met through this, some of my best friends definitely have been met through KBMOD, which is really cool. Any other stories we want to share about that? I mean, I think we've been talking about that, but any other notable connections that have come through the KBMOD connection?
I can't think. Most of the people I know online at this point have come, as a result of or somehow through KBMOD. So it's sort of like the basis of my entire online network.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually been hanging out in the Discord and playing games more and just joining random voice chats and meeting more people than I have ever. And good people.
Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, that's definitely something that's echoed, I feel like, by a lot of people in the community. So it's a good message and appreciate it, Steph. This is from Knackers via Twitter. Holy shit! What an end of an era. Can't even count how many KBMOD podcasts I listened to. Such a huge part of my gaming life. Cheers to all the fellas. Thank you, Knackers. Appreciate that.
I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I was just thinking I'm having a good time right now, and it's I'm having such a good time during, and I know we're gonna like it. It's just I'm gonna be really sad.
I know you're gonna be sad. We're all gonna be sad.
It's gonna not feel good.
I know.
If I haven't been here, and it's still sad to think about.
I'm actually glad my webcam's fucking up.
You're gonna be tearing up. We're all gonna be tearing up. It's gonna be bad. Or at least I don't know. I'm gonna try. I haven't yet cried on the internet fully yet. I'm trying to. Maybe
I've cried laughing numerous times.
Cried laughing. That's true. I have
all
cried
of them
laughing.
are due to you, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Play Shelter. You'll cry.
Yeah. Thank you, Neckers, for that. This is from iLuke CS, who said, ages ago, I was re-listening to all the old casts, and I made a short list of some highlights I enjoyed. And I like this. I'm just going to read these off and then see, because you can go back and actually reference with the
I need to go back to these.
Some of these I vaguely remember, and some of these I don't. So I'm just gonna episode 131, rat-tailed fuck 12900 LMA.
I don't know.
No idea.
Episode 132, 9 minutes 30 seconds, flea market.
Oh, the flea market, Brandon's.
Yes. I went to that. That flea market's sick, by the way.
That's right.
A believer.
Because we used to roast Brandon because we were like, how good can a flea market be?
They got a guy there who makes homemade mustard, and he has 150 different flavors of mustard.
What the fuck?
And that flea market is actually still awesome.
Mustard on a beat. Oh.
I didn't remember that was that long ago, though. 132?
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a lot longer than you would think. Episode 135, Master Chief, 147.
That was probably me.
That's probably a Nick one. 138, Scott UAV, 44 minutes in. I
vaguely remember
44 seconds in at the very beginning of the
Look
count.
at this fucking Daddy Cooks mustard.
Daddy Cook?
Right there. Daddy Cooks mustard.
Ooh, Daddy.
Oh.
Got smoking jalapeno.
That sounds really good.
Exotic ginger curry.
Ooh, that sounds fucking bomb.
Ooh. See, I'd fuck with that. All those sound good.
I love when John walks away, that fucking plump twink ass.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
You couldn't even hear it either. That's how you know that's a real
how you know it's real.
I'm a huge fan of mustard. Like a lot.
Me too.
Good lord.
I love mustard.
Really enjoy mustard.
Okay, here we
I
go.
bought 9 of them.
Well, we know this one because
spicy mustard. You like it when it's hot.
I'm seeing the words plump twink ass being written out in the chat, and it's kind of killing me.
What is a plump twink?
The audio listeners aren't going to appreciate this fully.
Somebody making a comment on that ass?
yeah, yeah. Somebody on this cast made a comment on your ass. But it's a. I believe Nick Fenton's words were, "That's a plump twink ass."
Yeah.
All right. All right. Moving on from that, just again to go through these, and we heard Nick do
My
this at the
spina
beginning.
bifida, by the way, not just a plump twink ass.
Oh, okay. Episode 140, Enfen's Shaggy G Unit London accent impression, which, of course,
Quality.
Feature.
That was probably one of many.
Nick's been doing that a long time. Episode 143, Enfen's smoke weed ending. It's very specific. Did you smoke weed on episode 143?
No, that was early on. That's another situation where it's like I started joking about smoking weed, and then I actually started smoking weed.
Yeah,
Like a lot.
yeah.
Like everything, my
things
KBMOD history is joking about it and then eventually doing it.
That's
That's
so
lifestyle.
true, dude. The gay thing into the weed smoking.
Yeah,
You were your own self-fulfilling prophecy on the podcast.
the
That's
weed
actually
made me gay.
That's amazing. Episode 150, Eric Brunner, Anion. I don't remember what happens with that, but that's at 1 hour, 12 minutes, 30 seconds. This is also was a tweet at us, so if you want to go back, I kind of like how Luke compiled these memories. You can go back and look at it, and it's in response to this, us asking for.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to all these. Some of these, like
Yeah.
I remember parts of them, but I feel like I will be listening to them kind of for the first time again when I go back.
Yeah, exactly. Same. We've got what else? Episode 153 was Night Frags, 43 minutes. Not sure. Night Frags. Episode 159 was Off-Brand Cereal Barn Door.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, what was the
Pretty
stick
sure.
with that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we were ranting about off-brand cereal that like
Something about using those giant bags as like car seats.
I'm pretty sure Nick Fenton was involved in that conversation.
Yeah, Nick
'Cause I
Fenton
think
was
he
100% involved in the cereal conversation.
He was talking about, oh man, yeah. Basically, like, there's no reason to buy off-brand cereal.
Except it's in a fucking pillowcase.
Oh God, here we go. It's happening again. The argument. Oh my God. All right.
Did we coin the term night hawking, or you?
No, that
Alright.
predates.
It was like an Urban
Okay.
Dictionary, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was like, hey guys, look at this Urban Dictionary entry, and we all went fucking ballistic and never forgot it.
I don't think we created it, but I'm pretty sure we popularized it.
We definitely got it way more popular than it was.
You made it what
It
it
struck a
was.
chord in our community.
We bought a lot of stocks early in the meme exchange.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Episode 162 at 59 minutes. Blog goes mute. LMAO. Must have been amazing. You must be talking forever and you're muted, and we're probably letting you do it. Maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like something my cast would do to me.
Yes.
You guys are awful.
We were. Episode 1. We are awful. Episode 163. 49 minutes. An email. Not sure. Episode 169. The Anion story. 1 hour 50 minutes.
Was that like his email he sent in?
Probably an Anion email. Would that have
Or
been
like he
169?
pressed F on someone's dying corpse? Like he was in like the Windows store? I'm sure it's on YouTube. But he did like a submission talking about it.
Gotta go fact finding after this one.
Right? Yeah. Hello?
I think Scott died.
The face he's stuck on
He
is like
switched places with Nick, and then he just froze. Oh yeah, bye.
All right.
All right.
Am I here again?
Oh,
Hello?
you're
Oh,
back.
there you go.
That's back.
Okay.
This episode brought to you by the Twitch desktop app. Wonderful piece of software.
Never
I
had
didn't
this.
even have to say it.
Always works.
All right. Yeah, my power did not go out. Don't fucking joke. We're good. Okay. Where were we? We were at that Anion story. Okay. Episode 181. Nick joins the cast, and 121.
Doc.
Ocdoc.
Ocdoc.
That's right. Fucking Ocdoc.
I don't even remember. I just remember Ocdoc. I don't even remember what the context is at all.
Fuck, man.
I think
I know.
What'd you try? It was something like you guys were talking about Spider-Man or something. You meant to say
Yeah.
Doc Ock.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
said
And
Ocdoc.
it was Ocdoc instead. Either I fucked it up or you fucked it up or something. We couldn't get off of it.
I don't know.
At episode 183, Mr. Sark scaring Nick and Scott. Was that the story we told about how he? Remember, we were at the apartment and he came over and knocked on the door and freaked us out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was
I
an
remember
audio
that.
cue story. Yeah.
The audio cues. That's what it was.
He's not responding to audio cues.
I said on the phone. That's right. Holy fuck. Sark scared us so bad. Yeah. Oh my God. I called. And then I was like, and then I had to call the cops back. And I was like, actually, never mind.
What's funny is like Sark amongst all of his e-fame and like how funny he is on the internet. That is literally how funny he is in person.
Yeah.
He is the funniest person I have ever met in my life.
Fuck me. God, I forgot. I've repressed that. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, we were fucking scarred. Dude, it was like he literally had brought food over to eat and we were on the phone with
for like 30 minutes.
30 minutes, dude. Like thinking we were about to die. Like we were looking through the peephole.
And he was holding. He was holding a picture of like an evil eyeball up to the.
That's
peephole.
what it was.
But when we looked through, it just looked like it looked like somebody was just holding their hand over it. It looked like pitch black.
Yeah,
So
it looked like somebody was blocking the peephole. So we're like, oh, they probably have a gun or something.
Yeah.
They're about to die.
I mean,
Holy fuck. Oh,
there's another part of that story involved.
there is another. I mean, we'll definitely. I mean, listen, we were extremely paranoid at the time. If that makes any sense.
We were paranoid in California.
In California. Let's just say that's when, my glaucoma was really fucking crazy during that time.
Yeah, it was.
But
It
was flaring up. We had to take care of it. But Sark took full advantage of that on us. Okay, episode 184. Punani. Oh,
That has
I know
to
that's
be-
a Nick
to be
thing.
me.
That has to be a Nick thing. And then Soap LMAO is at 1 hour and 53 minutes. I'm not sure what that's about. Not very descriptive. Episode 193 at 1 hour 15. Enfen orders KFC. I don't know about that.
That sounds.
I remember the
so vaguely
7-Eleven
familiar.
story with my Amish style pants.
That's right. Oh my God.
I just want to go back to the punani thing. I legitimately the other day I googled to see if punani is like an offensive word now.
Is it?
Like I wanted to make sure I wasn't offending anybody if I drop a punani. Like,
You can never be too careful.
in
to be honest.
2018, if it's okay to say punani to somebody.
I mean, that's very sensitive of you, actually. That makes a lot of sense. Holy fuck, Punani. Episode 193, or 196, an hour 60 minutes in. Listener describes what he thinks all the members of the podcast look like. I remember that not being super flattering.
Oh no, yeah.
Pretty solid. And then episode 214 just says performance in all caps
I have
at
no idea.
1 hour 20 minutes. So anyway, but I
The
appreciate
fact that one's in all caps makes me think I should probably go back and look at it.
Yeah, check it out. It's probably pretty good. So Luke, thank you for highlighting some of these
Somebody
moments.
should
and
share a
timestamps.
screenshot of all of them somewhere. Or like,
You can
post
link it
them
actually
somewhere.
in the chat for people. We could put it maybe with the doc or with the post on the website so people could look at it. All right, thank you again, Luke, for that. This is from Noah via email, and he says, title, End of an Era. This is a little bit of a long one, but let's go. He says, it saddened me deeply to hear about the end of the KBMOD cast. I started listening when episode 3 was released, then immediately listened to the first 2 episodes because of how hooked I was. At that time, I was a lonely console peasant, but with your high praise of keyboard plus mouse, I knew I had to make the switch. I listened to every recommendation and bought games on Steam without having a way to run them. One day, I'll have the cash to buy a PC, I said. I bought Humble Bundles so that when the day came, I would have a full library to explore. The day came, and with the help of the build guides, I built my first PC. My only desire was to run Skyrim on high, and run it did. Wow, simpler times. I was finally a brother of the PC master race with the help of the KBMOD boys. I was a supple boy when I first listened to the cast. I had just finished 8th grade.
Oh
Wow.
man.
That's a little young to be listening to us. I had just finished 8th grade.
Especially
and was
the earliest. Fuck.
Yeah. I just finished 8th grade and was ready to squeak my way through TF2 lobbies. Now, oh God, you're going to feel old, boys. Now I'm about to finish college, and my passion for PC gaming is as high as ever. From 8th grade to graduating college, was with us the whole time. It's crazy.
Well, sorry to your parents.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Really sorry.
I made a few mistakes along the way. I asked John on Twitter to help me with my build, and I got blocked. Which is very common. Very common back then.
That sounds about right.
I remember John would be like, "Don't if you fucking tweet me, I'm gonna block you." And he did it. That's amazing. Oh God, this next one. I pre-ordered Orion Dino Beatdown.
Oh,
For everything KBMOD has done, we deserve to be sent to hell for everything we did with Orion Dino Beatdown.
God, dude, we were so hyped for that. I mean, we wanted it to be good. It wasn't. That was a big mistake.
That was
No.
The thing about Orion Dino Beatdown, that was the first time a game developer that wasn't Jared Garrettson fucking engaged with us.
We were
That's
so
true.
amped on
And
it.
what
We
sucks
felt
is like Jared Garrettson made a really good game.
He
And
did.
Orion Dino Beatdown, not a good game.
It was not good. It was not good.
It was a learning experience.
It was though. Yeah. Listen, every organization has its ups and downs, and that was definitely a bit of a down and a misguess. I bought an NFEN T-shirt, which I still have yet to wear in public. Wow.
I still have one of those in my closet.
He said, I grew up alongside the cast. I've listened to hundreds of hours of memes, debauchery, and rants. I am so thankful to everyone who took the time to contribute, from the main cast, past and present, to the occasional guests, to the community members who submit questions and reviews. I love you all. Your friend, Noah, a.k.a. Peen Guzzler, a.k.a. Hutch has a 9-inch cock, which I recognize that name. Username.
Absolutely.
I do remember that username.
Yes, that's a good one. So, dude, thank you so much for the heartfelt message, and a lot of memories in there. And again, that's one thing I wanted to say, like, for everybody that contributed.
Did
like,
I unblock you, dude?
Yeah, you should find out if
Oh man,
Yeah, no, if you're watching, give me your Twitter handle. Make sure I unblocked you.
that'll be a good
Also,
book.
give me
Never fucking ask me about your computer again, though.
Part picker, load out.
instead of your part pick.
Yeah.
I also think this is the same Noah I met at a Twitch party once, or like it was like the first Twitch con, and I feel bad still to this day because I really liked him. I thought he was super cool. He's like a younger dude, but I was like, yeah, we should definitely hang out sometime. And then I just never had time for that because it was just working at Twitch all the time.
I feel.
Yeah, like feel bad. Love you, Noah.
I was saying hello to your dog because she's awake and staring at you.
Oh, I thought you said I feel.
I said I feel.
Lost in translation. I feel.
Is John like the first self-aware AI?
John has not felt before
Can
this email
I
from Noah.
love?
I unblock you now. Okay.
I regret my choices.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, and also I want to echo what Noah said. Like, we've had a lot of changes on this cast with people that originally started to people that filled in to guests, and I do want to thank everybody that has ever been on the cast or also was a guest or whatever else. Definitely made a lot of memorable episodes, and obviously not everybody that was ever on the cast, we weren't able to get everybody here at the same time, but want to give a special thank you to all of those people as well. All right, this is from Georgie Beats. This is the KBMOD podcast in homage. Let's see, how long is this one? Okay. It's a sad day knowing the KBMOD podcast is no longer going to be a regular part of my life, but looking back, the podcast and the community has shaped who I have become. Wow. All right. This is
bad
I'm
person.
so sorry. I remember getting involved through You Ain't Grizz Baby, John and the team. Wow. There we go. You Ain't Grizz Baby shout out. Chatting utter bollocks on the forum, getting together playing Dota and CS with the EU KBMOD crew. I set up the KBMOD IRC channel, which eventually became the Discord. Throughout all my studies and whilst I grew up, KBMOD has been a place that was an outlet for my interest in both games and technology. All this culminated in me leaving behind my study area of marine biology at university and getting a job at Microsoft. Holy shit.
Nice.
Yeah,
Amazing.
suck it, sea animals. Computers are the future.
I feel. I don't know why that's so funny.
I'm not not even done with the email, so hold on to your feels for a second. Something that I definitely wouldn't have pursued if it wasn't for KBMOD. I realize I've just rambled and told you my life story, but if KBMOD and Alts members have taught me one thing over the years, it's this: always do something you are passionate about, something that is embodied by the OG cast, the current cast, and so many of the people I've met through KBMOD. Thank you for all the great memories, and here's to many more. Damn, Georgie, that's a good email. I do feel on that one, dude, for real. That is
feels.
That's amazing.
I feel.
And congrats on your gig at Microsoft, man. I don't know. It's like,
I have to be right back.
Yeah.
Cool,
wow.
It's cool. I mean, Georgie Beats has been around the community a long time.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear, like people whose names you recognize, but then you don't really know a ton about their life, over the years. And it's just cool that it had that much of an impact and, changed his career path and all of that. And, seems like it's worked out. That's awesome.
Yeah, there are a ton of names that you recognize, and like it's surprising how many. Like it's like, oh wow, these people are still hanging around.
Yeah, it's
who was it? Who was it the other day that said that they were playing a video game with X-Pups? Like that's just like a name that I really remember. Like he was
fucking
I named Drew.
Yeah, Drew. Drew's a part of. He's always playing games. I'm playing games with Drew. He plays in my sub games. Yeah, he's not X-Pups anymore. He's just Drewby now. He goes by Drewby. John, he's fucking insane at like Counter-Strike and Battalion, and he always credits it to you, by the way, for getting him into pro mod. Like the kid's actually fucking nutty. He's crazy good. So anyway, I don't know if he's here right now, but he always talks about you. God, he's
didn't realize that was Drewby.
That's Drewby. Yeah, Drewby was X-Pups. Yeah. Fucking crazy. All right. What else do we got? Oh boy, it's getting harder to read these, boys. I'm let's solidify myself. I'm good. I can't handle all these feels though right now. Okay, James via email, title "Very important question" before the podcast hiatus. I'm hoping we'll get out of really feely territory and get into some hard-hitting questions here. But though I have enjoyed all the outpouring of messages. These are great. I've been a longtime listener of the audio version of the cast, and I've always intended on garnering your opinions on the following topic. I hope it hasn't been covered in an episode from before my time or one I missed. Being made aware of the impending hiatus forced me to get in gear and finally have this question addressed. Oh boy. What is your preferred cheese-based snack and why? For example, Goldfish, Cheez-It, Cheetos, Cheese Nips, etc. I will miss hearing about what you're eating each week. Thanks for the hours of entertainment over the years. And that is from James.
Does it have to be like a snacky thing, or can I just say queso dip?
I think that counts. Cheese-based snack.
Queso's a snack.
It's either queso dip or cheddar and sour cream ruffles, and all other opinions.
That's a good
ruffles.
Choice. That's a good choice.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Honestly, I really do like.
Goldfish are garbage. Cheese goldfish are garbage.
No. Here's the thing. Cheese goldfish, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of. I'll eat cheese goldfish, but goldfish has some great alternative flavors. Like the pizza goldfish, solid flavor.
Really? Oh. I don't know if I've ever had that.
Maybe if I'm under the age of 10.
Maybe if my palate.
We just lost Scott again. That the worst screenshot.
Okay, well, Nick, what's your cheese-based snack then?
I'm a big fan of the Pepper Jack Cheez-Its.
Okay. Cheez-Its are really good.
Or the Pepper Jack cheese.
Yeah, Pepper Jack cheese, anything. Excellent. Best cheese. Also, like the extra toasted Cheez-Its, like the ones that are a little burnt.
I got there's this queso dip called Miss Renfro's Ghost Pepper cheese dip. That shit is so good.
That sounds like too much for me.
Ghost pepper.
It's quite spicy.
John, have you found as you aged you like spice, like hot stuff more, or have you always liked hot stuff?
I've always really liked hot stuff. It just affects my beehole a little more now.
More.
Yeah.
Okay.
I eat it twice now.
Great for anal sex.
That wasn't the case before.
Yeah. Is that great for anal sex?
Yeah, it's called pre-lubrication.
Oh my god. Jeez. Oh my lord.
Hey, Ying, cheese-based snack.
Yeah. I default to
it's my favorite cheese-based snack.
I don't think they're that good, but I ate them a lot as a kid, so I have like an attached memory to them. But it's the Ritz like cracker sandwiches, like the cheese sandwiches.
Oh, those are good. Those are good.
You get like the sour cream and chive ones, dude. Those
ones are good too.
Sour cream and chive.
Yeah, those are actually, that's a really good choice. I really like the little Ritz.
I remember,
mini sandwiches.
That's like one of the things that you got in like your lunch as a kid, and you
Oh,
were excited about it, and you were like, "Fuck these things!"
Yeah.
And now you look back, you're like, "I want those."
Yeah.
Like peanut butter and jelly. Like I love that now.
Oh yeah.
Like if I had a peanut
I'm
butter
gonna
and
make one
jelly
after
going to school, and I'd be like, "Mom, we're not poor."
Yeah,
There's like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as a kid.
yeah, I legit will make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at night when I'm hungry. Like low
so
effort,
good.
delicious.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, here's a peanut butter and jelly hack that I heard about, and I wasn't there for this, nor could I have experienced it because I couldn't have eaten it at the time. But Kevin Lynn, one of Twitch's co-founders, had a fried food party at his house, and they fucking deep fried Uncrustables.
Oh god.
My. That sounds
Like,
amazing.
That sounds like something that
Sounds next level.
I'm a big fan of the toasted PB&J.
Yeah,
Like that's always real good.
It's solid.
you let the peanut butter get all gooey and stuff, and you put it on there.
Yeah.
after the bread
Well, I
comes
just
out.
toast the bread and then I put the peanut butter on right away so it starts melting.
Yeah, same.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
real bomb.
KD,
Oh, yeah.
cheese snack.
Yeah, what were you saying, Kenny?
Yeah, I'm with you on the Ritz sandwiches and the Cheez-Its.
I think Katie's
I
also
grew up-
frozen.
Are you
Am I
frozen?
frozen? Hello?
No,
Hello?
you're fine.
No, you're good for me. I think it's just different.
Wait, can you hear him? I can't hear him.
I can't hear him either.
I can hear Katie, but nobody else can.
Benson?
I see Nick Jenkins in like this freeze pose of
Nick Jenkins is frozen.
Okay, now
Okay.
he's back.
No, I'm pretty sure I was just not moving. I was waiting on Katie's end to start talking.
You can hold a smile without the cheek twitch better than anybody I've
No,
ever seen.
I thought Nick was frozen, but it was just his face. He was just holding this one expression.
Yeah, Nick is like sporadically freezing for me.
Try hearing him fine though.
I can hear Katie again. Can you guys hear Katie again? Try turning your cam
No,
off.
I can't hear him.
And that was what
My
fixed it
cam
for
on.
me.
Well, Nick Jenkins, what is your favorite cheese-based snack?
Cheese.
Yeah, I mean,
What kind of cheese?
I mean, it really depends on my mood. It depends on my mood, but I'm gonna go like into something. Oh, whoa!
That's the Katie we love.
Something sharp. I like a sharp cheddar. I like Havarti. If I'm feeling a little bit less sharp, but I'll take like Asiago is one of my favorites to just snack on. But also, you can't go wrong with like some of the softer cheeses like mozzarella. Like something just fits so well about them. Plus, it also depends on what else you're eating like alongside it. Like I'll usually go olives. I like something sharp alongside.
When an
olives.
Italian guy talks to you about cheese, you listen.
You should. It's a good idea too. It's me and Bunny Fufu. He's Italian too, so he was like he invites a bunch of people. He's like, yeah, we're gonna do like a meat and cheeses thing at our place. Everybody should go. I was like, I'm home. Where like this is if you put somebody near me who's just gonna give you just like salted things, yeah, like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all. Give me a bunch of cured shit and cheese. It's like a moth to a flame. I can't resist.
Okay, so cheese just Katie, can you talk again? Can people hear you?
Yo, hello. It's
Is he
KD.
back?
It's me.
He's good?
Can I just
Yeah.
say that Cheese Nips has got to be one of the worst names of I've never been
That's a terrible
Nips.
name.
That sounds like a shitter in Twitch chat. Like Cheese Nips.
If I have to go with a cheese byproduct, and I do love like crackers, I think I'm gonna say reduced fat Cheez-Its.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, those
They're
are
way
Watch
better
your
than
figure.
Yo, do you ever like get a bunch of
Way better.
Cheez-Its in your mouth, chew them up, and like push them up against the roof of your tongue, let them all form into one? And you have a giant Cheez-It. You just have a giant Cheez-It.
What?
Katie,
And
that's
then
how
you
you
spit it out, try to get somebody else to eat it. Yeah.
No, you don't like spit it back out. Save it for later. I'm baking.
Katie, that
bigger
was so
Cheez-Its.
sexual the way you started in
He
with
was
that.
talking about making a super cheese it in his mouth.
They all become one. No, just
How do they all become one? I don't understand that.
because you chew them up and then
Then they're all
You
crushed in
compress
your mouth.
He
Well,
said
you
he
can-
leaves
you
them
compress
there
them.
long enough.
yeah.
But what he didn't talk about is when he spits it back onto a plate, forms it into a cheese it, and then bakes it in his oven.
That has a spittoon next to his desk that's just like spit and Cheez-Its.
I just have a gallery of spit out like here's my finest work. It's like fist size. I take multiple ones out
How long
That
are you
one's held
leaving these
together by,
Cheez-Its in your mouth?
overnight. I just
He's fucking like pressurizing Cheez-Its like diamonds.
All
Really
right.
want cheddar and sour cream ruffles. Fuck.
Also cheese whiz just on crackers, like out of the fucking cans.
Oh yeah.
People have such strong.
I don't even know what is in cheese whiz though. That's the problem.
The chemicals
why?
in
not-
Yeah.
That
None
shit's
of it's
delicious.
not milk.
No,
Yeah.
it's not good.
No, it's not good for
But
you.
it is good.
Yeah.
That's processed cheese food right there.
Yeah. All right. And I mean, no one has said like cheese sticks because I mean, this is also kind of just
String cheese.
Oh
But
yeah,
string
string
cheese, man. I'm
I'm
I like
about it.
all variations, man. I like mozzarella. I like Colby Jack. I like any of those.
Oh, I'm always about the mozzarella. But did you know,
Yeah.
Scott, you must have found this out too. I had
Mhm.
no idea polio was an East Coast thing. There's no polio out here.
Really?
Zero polio
I
in
guess I
California
never-
and Washington.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I've
maybe that's not
never
your brand.
seen it in California. Now that you say that, when I lived there.
I started buying the one that has like it's got like a Italian sounding name. It's like Gennardi's or something.
Yeah.
Fiorello's. I don't know.
I'm
Dude,
Tony.
this kid.
Yeah,
Give me some of Tony's cheese.
it's easy marketing. I'm like, I don't know what cheese is good now that I don't have my go-to brand. So you just buy the most Italian sounding one. That's
Exactly.
I've been developing this
easily
Italian
marketable.
user for a little past few months. His name is Ruby Tuesdiano. Welcome to my fucking deli.
My ex-girlfriend in high school was a waitress at Ruby Tuesdays. Oh god.
Oh my god.
That's my fucking niece you're talking about.
All right. Holy shit. Let's move on to the next Twitter comment, and this comes from Luke via a Twitter DM to Brandon. And he also sent an email. Are you saying this is from the same person? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah, I included one of them because he mentions that he's listened to about 280 of the 311 episodes, and
That's
he's
crazy.
nearly 23 and started listening when he was 15,
That's the one I was thinking of. That's
and
the
that's
one.
over 30% of his entire life.
Ah!
Crazy.
Man.
Yes, that's the one. I think I saw it in the doc, or maybe I saw it on Twitter. Yeah, I guess it was a Twitter one that he had done. Yeah, 15 to 23 years old, 30% of his life, Luke. That's crazy.
Like just thinking about the type of person I was at 15 to 23. That's a huge, like as far as
Yeah.
developing as a person. That's a huge, very important time period.
How does it
Done
make
to
you feel,
you.
Nick, that you have had an impact on someone over that period of their life?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a little weird. It's like the butterfly effect. It's like I probably shouldn't have.
I definitely just feel some guilt when you put it that way. Like, god damn it. I didn't realize I was fucking somebody up.
I'll read his email too because it's pretty good. He said, "Supper nerds, I've been listening to you people and KD. Wow. Talk about food games. I don't know what the.
I like this guy a lot.
Yeah, wow. The KD shit on. Talk about food, games, chodes, fingering cats, and other important topics since I was in high school. You've been with me through every major event in my life for the last 7 years and have given me something to look forward to every Tuesday. I rarely make the stream. Instead of going on about how much the podcast has meant to me, I'll just say what I'm writing at the top of this email to say, thanks, dudes. My question for you is this. What single item under $300 have you purchased that has made the biggest impact on your life?
Dragon
And-
dildo.
That was fast. That's under $300 now? Okay, fair.
I would say if you're gonna buy a dragon dildo,
That was
it's $290 to $300 one.
I thought you would have gotten the diamond tipped one, but I guess you skipped.
Jesus.
You pay,
Scott-
you get what you pay for.
Yeah, that's right.
It's $299. It
Pick,
breathes
Scott,
fire.
pick something other than the monitor you bought to replace the 1440 by 900 piece of shit you used for way too long.
Oh, that's right.
Wow. Actually, that reminds me of one of my favorite moments is Linus shitting on my life about my fucking monitor.
Oh yeah, that's a great moment too.
Fucking son of a bitch. I've never forgiven him. I'll still watch his YouTube videos and dislike them to this day. 'Cause I don't give a fuck. I'm fighting back against it. Now, Linus is a cool.
Linus Toke Tips.
He fucked me up. For me, it's really easy. This is a really recent thing, and this is actually just a direct result of being a parent. The Diaper Genie, which is totally, it basically is an air sealed or thing that you put diapers in, and so it's like a trash can. The idea is like a trash can with a pedal on it that shuts and keeps the stink out. But the way it works is you can put a shit ton of diapers in it, and then once you're done, you cut the bag. It's just this like long plastic line. It's life changing. So in having stuff throwing diapers,
a technology that's been around for 40 years.
Okay,
And
I'm just telling
as a
you,
streamer, like
I'm
that is
telling
just game changing for you.
It's-
You don't have to leave. You don't have any bathroom breaks anymore.
I'm saying even for my diapers, it holds the smell. It stops the smell.
Yours fit.
Yeah, mine fit in there.
That's fine.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of.
I feel like that kind of garbage can would just be good in general for most.
It's good in general, but it's incredible for it's great for diapers, man. I'm telling you, it's great. So but that's a real cheap thing. That's way under $300, but that's invaluable for me. What else?
Mine's
boys?
dumb. It's an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it's not dumb. Why is that dumb?
It's just like not really meaningful.
Then why'd you
should
fucking
watch
check it?
Coco. You would think otherwise.
I've heard that movie is great. I have not watched it yet, but
It is outrageously fantastic. You will be sobbing.
gotcha.
If you ever cared about somebody who is no longer on this planet, you will sob your eyes out at Coco.
Is it an I Feel kind of movie?
Yeah, well, it's based on like the Mexican Day of the Dead, so it's about like lost family members. So like it just hits everybody's weak spot.
Actually, it's a Dazzle DVC. Literally. No, I'm not kidding you.
Really?
Because if I did not buy a Dazzle and I did not start making YouTube videos, I would not have met these people. I would not be where I am today. I would not be on this podcast. I would not, literally $125 Dazzle DVC converter is probably the most impactful thing I've ever bought.
If I didn't rent Skate 3, I wouldn't have gotten into the open lobby with Cnares where I would have met Adam, Jordan, and Mark, and then I wouldn't have known any of you.
Put it that way. The capture card,
But
HD
the best
DVR for me.
The best purchase I made is this one right here.
I always forget about the fucking jar every time. Fucking son of a bitch. All right. So John, that's a great point, and I'm with you, Nick. I bought a Hauppauge HD PVR, and that was all the YouTube, and that's how I met everybody. So I'm with you, dude. I'll switch to the Hauppauge. That thing was a beast.
Oh yeah, HD PVR.
It was a piece of shit.
It was a piece of shit looking back, but
the software was awful. The
hardware would only go to like 1080 Ti or something, or no, 1080i, not
1080i.
1080 Ti.
I had two recent purchases that have made I wouldn't say the biggest difference in my life, but big differences in my life that were pretty cheap. Yeah. One was, so in my city, we have a shitty water source that is like within the legal limit for lead content, but is not within the amount of lead content that like drinking it won't make you sick. So you basically have to have a water filter. And so for the longest time, I had this big insert, like this big jug you would fill up and then put in the fridge and keep cold. And then I just said, fuck that, and bought one of the ones that clips directly to the faucet. Because what would happen was, like, my dishes would pile up, the sink would get full, I wouldn't be able to fill the fucking thing, so then I would just drink regular tap water, and then I would feel sick all the time. So, like, it was just this, and the lazier I got, the worse I felt. It was just, like, this horrible, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, we're just cutting out the middleman. And then the other thing was a day planner. I went to a Japanese convenience store that's in one of the malls here. And then there was a official Pocket Monsters, like copyright 1996, whatever, like day planner. And it's not just, I didn't just buy it because it was Pokemon. It is like the best fucking day planner I've ever seen. I would have had it on me right now, but it's in the other room. It's just got like everything you need, perfect layout. It's got like a bullet page journal, like if anybody's fucking with the bullet journals. And it's got like free notes after each month and each week. It's so perfect. It's beautiful. And it's been helping me get my life together and kind of like look at my stream from a greater perspective, look at my life, my chores, how much time I'm spending doing what. Like it's a big difference.
I have a question about the water. Was the water from the turlet?
The turlet.
I guess at some point over the past couple of years, which is bizarre.
Oh my god!
Yes. Oh my god! Please.
Yes. Please. Wait, what? What's happening?
Is it happening? Is it actually happening?
Is it happening?
No, it's not happening. I can't
No,
sing.
come on, dude.
Oh, come on,
It's the
dude.
last
Wonderful.
episode. It's the
Please.
last episode.
You can't sing it?
No, I can't sing and play at the same time. It's too hard.
Okay, you need a. Well, hey, listen. I heard the chords. I heard them. Amazing.
I feel
I
significantly.
wish I knew the lyrics, like all the lyrics.
Yeah, I wish I knew
I
them
don't remember
perfectly so that I could sing it.
Just sing it over the Jew harp.
You can play that perfectly.
I don't know how to play different notes. I'm pretty sure you can't play different notes on the Jew's harp.
Not if you're not Jewish.
If you're not Jewish.
Happy Hanukkah.
I just don't believe that that's what that thing's called.
Google it. Jew's harp.
Yeah. All right, I'm looking it up real quick.
I did just take you at face value on that. I feel like it's not
That
something
is
you're gonna make up.
absolutely a musical instrument.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Jew's harp. But did you tell us where you got it? For why you have it yet?
Amazon.com. I was listening to a podcast and somebody mentioned it, and I was like, that sounds kind of interesting. So I just went on Amazon and bought one.
Just bought a random Jew's harp from but that's so random.
Was
Yeah.
very high.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I actually didn't even remember. When it
figured.
came in the mail, I was like, oh, cool. What's this? And I was like, oh, fuck.
That's fucking great. All right.
Just reading about the history of the Jew's harp and like
Yeah.
joy, like toy trumpet from like
Mhm.
some French or I don't know. That's a whole
Goddamn.
discussion.
Say my item under 300. I would probably say
Mm.
I was thinking about. I mean, it's a tough question to answer. I don't know that I have a really good one, but I will say
800 Pro.
Actually, it was along those lines. I was actually going to say my first like Plantronics headset. This was
I know what you're talking about.
this was like an old school. It was like a $20 or $30 Plantronics headset. It had little kind of cloth ear
I had
pads.
that one.
And like not a great mic, but it had a microphone built in. And before that, I had only ever like had speakers on my computer, and that I remember I think I got it for Christmas, and so I finally plugged in a mic and I had headphones, and I played Counter-Strike, and at the time Counter-Strike had in-game voice, and that was like one of the first times that I actually played a first-person shooter and sort of coordinated with teammates over voice. And this was, again, you have to remember, this was before that was commonplace. This would have been like well over a decade ago. And I just remember like the first time I logged on and played Counter-Strike with a headset, like a proper headset and microphone. That was in a way kind of life-changing because that's what really got me sucked into online games. Pretty much.
That's when you met your gaming clan full of like 47-year-old dudes. It's also my first gaming clan too. They were way older than us.
Yeah.
They're grandfathers and shit. Like no joke.
Wow.
But yeah, that's I'd say like get yourself a good headset so you can actually talk with people, and then you'll get addicted to online games like I did.
And you'll fail miserably at life.
Did
I
everybody
used to-
answer? Or are we still waiting on a few? Okay, Yang, you didn't go yet, right?
I can't think of anything that's like the most, like the biggest impact, but one that stands out that was like, I guess, relatively recent is like actually buying a good desk, something that actually has like a lot of space on it. Because before I was working off like one of those terrible like small university student desks where you got like everything balanced onto this little like, oh god, it was awful, like this toothpick of a desk. And then going from something that actually has some kind of a depth to it, where it's like you can spread out, you can put like a big mouse pad on, you can spread your keyboard. Like just spend money on your desk, please. It's so worth it. You feel it changes the room. Katie.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I agree.
Completely, yeah. Must be done.
All right.
I feel like I could get out of the 18th century when I upgrade this desk.
Dude, that
No, I do agree though. Like whenever I moved into my house, I bought like a fucking huge desk, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, it changes everything.
makes it so much better.
I have so much room to store nothing.
So much room to come onto.
I was gonna say for
Not wrong.
activities, but sure.
See how it falls. Read your fortune.
Oh my. All right. I think Katie's in. I'm gonna let you take away the because that kind of
this fucking beanie. That's his
for emails. And,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Did
you? Yeah, you didn't say yours yet, did you?
No, I answered the Dragon Dildo. The
Dragon Dildo.
Gorgon
That's right.
metallic bronze.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
All right.
Take this email away though. So just for people that don't know, you want to give a little bit of background on what's been going on with this?
Yes.
Choose your own adventure.
So Love Muffin has been sending us emails of the KBMOD screenplay, which has slowly evolved into like something of incredibly dramatic scale. Last week, Bill Cosby was destroying. He was killing Telltale staff.
Yes,
it's just been absolutely insane. And so, with as short notice as we've given out, like 2 weeks, that's a reasonable amount of time. But Love Muffin has he's crafted the finale of the KBMOD screenplay. So buckle in. Let's see what this. I haven't spoiled myself. I haven't read this yet, but we'll see.
Not read it.
And so yeah, we'll get into it. Hey KBMOD, this is the final episode of the novelization of the KBMOD screenplay based on the novel Pushed by Sapphire, a choose-your-own-adventure book/anime. Please feel free to skip it for time, however, because what I really want to say is I work a third shift job stocking groceries where my body is always occupied and my brain almost never is. After listening to all of my music ad nauseum, then countless audiobooks, one day I searched for PC gaming on the Windows Phone podcast app and found KBMOD. You guys have given me thousands of hours of content, and importantly for me, laughter and distraction during the most stressful time of my life, my promotion to manager. On top of all of this, I've received many amazing recommendations that have been of great value to me. New games, Humble Bundle, AGDQ. Anyway, I would like to thank you all for the digital friendship that only a podcast could provide and remind you that you never know who you are being an encouragement to. I've never paid a red cent for all you've given me, so feel free to hit me up for some free writing work anytime. I'm looking at you, Barndoor Quest.
Oh,
man.
Yes.
I don't know.
Free labor.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Awesome. So let's get into it proper. The KBMOD squad arrives in post-meme-apocalyptic Philadelphia, which has been long hinted at the climax of the story.
Yes.
They solemnly walk by the burnt-out remains of a Wawa's. Appleman presses F to pay respect. They draw closer to the epicenter where Hardballer went nuclear all those years ago trying to harness the power of Katie's memes. Papa Barndoor gives a secret signal to the team using gentle caresses on the bottom. They are close, he says in code. They are close. Oh my. The KBMOD squad comes to a crater where all of their enemies await them. Family video. What is left of Telltale Games? The Windows Store. Crippling self-doubt. A spokesperson appears. It's Notch.
I'll fight Notch.
He says, "Fight us, KBMOD. This is what we've been working for." Papa Barndoor assesses the situation. Okay, now you guys have to read your parts.
Oh yeah.
Going head to head is not a good value proposition.
That sounds so natural. Appleman rhymes.
We have power aplenty, but my battle rhymes can only handle 1,020.
Whew. Katie's Son says nothing. He knows there is only one solution. They made Hardballer meme-splode all those years ago. Now he must drop his own bomb. He turns to the rest of the squad with a tear in his eye and says, "I know what I have to do. Get out of here." Papa Barndoor runs to stop him, but Katie throws a waifu bomb and blasts them all to a safe distance.
Holy shit.
He whispers one last goodbye and walks determinedly to the nice, quiet museum restroom. Oh, fuck! That sits intact in front of the army of his enemies. Yes, Katie's knows what he has to do. He has to drop the perfect deuce. He arrives in front of the army and says, "Could you excuse me a minute?" In unison, they reply, "Well, I guess, but we're about to." "Thanks," says KD. Inside the empty restroom, he prepares. Noise-canceling headphones blast heavy metal. Forget the squatty potty. Katie has the squatty elevated stirrups. A sea of scented candles provide a soft glow. Chaos clouds begin to swirl overhead as the horrifying reality dawns on its enemies. Katie is going to drop the perfect deuce in public. It's impossible, Not screams. The panicked hordes rush to the restroom, but it's too late. Katie can't hear them. There's a moment of exquisite silence, then boom! From a distance, Papa Barndor witnesses the explosion. He whispers,
Goodbye, little Mike. You found peace.
Love muffin.
Well done.
What a fucking climber! Oh, Barndor read that perfectly. That was that got me.
Oh,
that was
great.
Honestly, I seriously, we need to get the screenplay made into something animated. Love Muffin.
The budget is definitely skyrocketed.
It definitely has.
Museum, get their bathroom.
Maybe able to fund this entire operation with bits from the pre-show.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're
Take care of
very
it.
generous.
Yeah, it's a callback to when I had to use the restroom at work and take a massive shit, and the toilet was so high up, my feet were dangling from the floor, and so I was like trying to get any traction. I would like stack my shoes up and put my leg on top of it just to try to get some leverage.
Oh no,
wasn't working.
I have found that using a squatty potty now makes pooping anywhere else very why like like you feel like a savage,
right? Yeah.
Why would people say that to themselves?
That was incredible. Well read, KD. 0 mistakes too. You kept that. It was very solid.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Very good.
Thanks.
All right, so this
for that for the saga from beginning to end.
That was great. Super good. We're gonna move on to the iTunes podcast review of the week, and believe it or not, we've got a couple here. But this is a question from Twitter that relates to the iTunes podcast review of the week, and this comes from Connor, and he said, "I am sad to see you guys go, but it has been a great ride. I started watching around episode 20, and I have never looked back. Some of my favorite things I have ever written were podcast reviews and questions. So, my final question for the cast is, what are your favorite reviews?" Which is a really good question because we've had some doozies. So, do you have any that come to mind? I mean, for me, we're going to get into these here shortly, but anything, the whole Hodes family saga, the Hodes.
Yeah.
They carried that. I really enjoyed the Hodes family, The
Hodes never ceases to make me laugh. And so I think, is this actually a fresh Hodes review actually here, Brandon? This is a fresh Hodes review. So I don't know if I can think of any off the top, but I love
one of my favorite ones is actually a pretty recent one. The Ying review.
Oh my god!
Where we're going through the songs, the emo songs.
Yes, that was really good.
Like there have been some really good ones, but that one was actually really clever and really really well done.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, he used songs from Yingity's emo era to write the review, right?
Yeah. All of the song titles were used in proper sentences.
God, that is amazing. So speaking of Hodes, or did anybody else have reviews that they thought of real quick before I jump in? Or should I?
There have been some good ones, but nothing really comes to mind right away.
Okay. All right. This is from Christopher Hodes. It's called Pour One Out. Writing this feels like a death in the family. It is sad to see KBMOD go the way of You Ain't Chris Baby, but as the father of hundreds of KBMOD listeners, I know how time-consuming raising a child or spelling your name with a 1 instead of an I can be.
Thanks for the extra effort.
It brought a sad smile to my face coming to write this review before your podcast gets smashed to black.
Oh,
wow. Oh boy, that's amazing. And seeing that the first ever review was written by none other than T-Do Talix.
It's T.Alex.
T.Alex.
T-Dude.
Oh wait, I didn't see the capital T. What the fuck? T.Alex. There we go.
T-Dude.
T-Dude
Talix.
T.Alex. Yes, that makes more sense. It feels like just yesterday that he was doing the intro for the 100th episode. For a short time, I was able to dry my tears on the thoughts of the handsome actor and whatever borough in Edinburgh he may be living in. The tears returned as all the memories this podcast have provided rushed back. From thinking it's another cat to Anion confronting his cuckolder, from Enfen dabbing through the pain to Katie Zen's horrible encounter with Barndor on Halloween. Thank you for all the laughs over the years. While my family and the thousands of memers who spend the Lord's Day watching you on Twitch will miss you all, please take the time you need off, and we hope to hear from you soon. Forever yours, Christoph Hodes. Wow.
Christoph, it's with a 1.
It's with the 1. Yes, it's with the 1. So a very heartfelt email from really the father. He seems himself as a father of the podcast listeners. It's incredible. Christoph Hodes. And yes, you've been a huge part of the reviews. I really feel like if the Hodes family hadn't existed, we wouldn't have had half as many of the memorable reviews we've had. So
yeah, it's the patriarch of the Hodes family himself.
Absolutely, coming out of the woodwork to wish us farewell.
Oh yeah,
man,
Bill
right in the
still
fields.
Hasn't tweeted. Married, father of 5.
That's right. Is this still the same thing, Christopher, on Twitter? Oh my God, that's amazing. All right, and we've also got 2 more here. The first one is farewell for now, and it is by Hardballer's mom. Believe it or not. What a wonderful podcast. By far, the most memorable moment is when Enfen introduced to everyone that Hardballer's mom and dad spit roast Enfen. The episode before Thanksgiving. That's right. You were getting spit roasted by his parents. That actually makes sense now.
I still don't remember that shit.
My Sunday nights are going to be very empty without the KBMOD podcast. Farewell for now, and may the spit roasts continue. Wow. Hardballer's mom, that is much appreciated. Thank you so much for the review. And we've got one more. It's just called All Right, and it's by Perp Skirp. And it says, finally, there's a podcast for us PC enthusiasts. Just started listening, but since they have over 300 episodes, I'm sure this cast has the staying power to keep going for years longer. Chauncey Hodes.
Chauncey Hodes.
Chauncey
Chauncey, I'll dog you. Oh, fuck me. Another Hodes family member, dude. They always bring it. Son of a bitch.
And
all right.
Hodes member that just learned about the podcast, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They're still out there learning.
Chauncey missed the last couple of family reunions.
Yeah.
Guess so,
We
yeah.
always tend to come up there.
We missed like the last
Definitely.
7.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, I think we're getting to that point in the show where it's going to get real sad, as Nick was saying before.
I'm feeling it right now.
I know. I'm feeling it too. It's fun. It was fun to have all these guys back for this. When you look back 6 years, 8 months, we'll round it to 7 years. It has truly been a really, really enjoyable time to be part of this, to have you guys be part of this. And, we're going on indefinite hiatus. Will this be the last episode ever? I don't know. They'll probably
not.
No, there will probably be other things, like Extra Life coming up. We do an episode then. So it's not the last episode, but maybe in this current form, it will be the last one. So much appreciated to everybody. Like I said, cast members old, in between, present, all the guests that we ever had. I know it's going to be an adjustment not having us every week ready to go if you're an audio listener or, you watch on Sundays. But it has been truly a really enjoyable experience. And like we said, lots of friendships, lots of amazing memories. Definitely feels bittersweet for me to be kind of closing this chapter, at least for now. But any other words any of you guys want to say before we close?
I echo all of your sentiments. Obviously, this has been something we've done for a really long time, and the listeners are not the only ones whose lives have changed over the course of the podcast, which is sort of why it's coming to a close for now. But yeah, I think the one thing I want to stress to everyone who listens and has been around in the community is that just because the podcast is ending, like we're still going to be around. KBMOD's going to be around. Like John said, like we're we're going to be pretty active in our Discord, hanging out. You may not see a ton of, you may not see the podcast. You may not necessarily see stuff on the site all the time. But we're hanging out, playing games, pretty much each week, each weekend. So I really would like to invite, everyone who listens to the podcast and has been part of the community for however long you've been here, that please come join us, come play games with us. Don't feel like you have to, leave the community or that this is completely over. The Twitch channel will still be active. We'll still be doing things there occasionally. We'll still be doing stuff for Extra Life. But most of all, we still just, we're basically going to be hanging out and playing games. Just because the podcast isn't around doesn't mean that we won't be around. So I really do want to encourage you guys to, this is just closing one particular chapter, but not like we're just leaving the internet.
Right. And we're all going to disappear, and no, none of that's happening.
Yeah. So we still, I want to it really means a lot to us that so many of you have told us how much the podcast has meant to you. But I think that there's still, we can still make memories together. So please don't stop coming around. Come play games with us. Come hang out every now and then. And let's stay friends. Stay internet friends.
Definitely. And you can catch pretty much all of us have an online presence. Obviously I stream full time, so you know where I am, but like you said, getting into Discord, people playing games together, definitely do that. Take advantage of that. Obviously Ying streams, KD, Nick Fenton's even playing games again, as he said, of course, Blah is a full-time streamer as well. You can always find us. John and Brandon are busy at Twitch, but they're also around a lot too. So, don't be strangers. We'll be here. It's okay. This is ending. This chapter is ending, at least for right now. But no reason that, we can't still interact, like we had. It'll just be a little bit different than it has been before. So we're going to be a little different. So we had talked a little bit. There's no guarantees, but we talked about doing something at this podcast time slot. So you might see, it's not going to be the podcast or anything, but you may see something in the future around this time. So definitely come out and support whatever that is. There's talks.
We may do something more casual. Honestly, the kind of nice thing now that we're going to be stopping doing the podcast is, I will hopefully actually be able to kind of play games more and hang out, hang out with my online friends more, than I've been able to in the past. Usually it's I got to stop playing games because we have the podcast. Got to prepare. There's a lot of kind of logistical stuff that goes into that. So now I plan to Sunday nights. It's that'll be prime gaming time. Maybe I'll throw up a personal stream every now and then. We'll still,
that's exciting.
We'll definitely still be around. So if you guys
so
don't,
you're saying squads,
yeah,
squads.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Everyone's saying squad.
Come on, Operator Perry.
But I think if you guys don't know how to keep in touch with us at this point, hope you just haven't been paying attention. We're all on Twitter. We're on Twitch, and again, we do have the KBMOD Discord that I would love. I'd love for everyone to come and be active in, because we're active there pretty much every day. So come and hang out with us and play games in a more casual environment. It may not be an audio podcast, hitting your podcast feed, but there's still a lot of memories that can be made just from hanging out and enjoying each other's company.
Definitely.
I'm fanning myself like an old lady from the South with my hand. I'm fucking feeling a lot of things right now.
Yes, I agree. No, it definitely is bittersweet. And I want to echo what Brandon said. You guys definitely had a huge impact on us over all these years, and so seriously, love you guys. We really appreciate all of the support. We've had a lot of awesome memories together. And like we said, KB Mod is not ending. This chapter is for us at the moment, but don't be a stranger. We'll be around. And yeah, so I think as much as I hate to say it, I think that kind of wraps it up for us. I don't think we're forgetting anything. I think,
listen, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
I just appreciate all of you, everybody. All the members that have been on the podcast over the years, all the laughs that we had, both on the podcast, playing games together, everybody in the community, all the jokes, the memes, the tweets. There's really only two words to describe how it is right now for me. And those 2 words are, I feel.
Oh, so good. So good. Anybody else? I don't want to cut anybody else off before we go. We turn it off. Everybody,
Yeah,
feel free right now. Get it in.
Get your feelings
Get
out.
your feels in.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've not really been on the cast for like a huge portion of
No,
it
you've
around,
been on here a significant amount of
Decent
time.
amount of time, man.
Don't even.
Nothing
We can shit on Yang. He's the newest one.
I'm the newest.
yeah,
I'm
if
the
anyone's
newest.
gonna feel sorry. No, but I mean it's been a huge like impact on my life being on the cast and being a listener. So just I mean I'm getting all flustered. I don't
Dude,
know.
I started while I was talking. There's just so many good feelings, so many good times.
Just everyone here right now, anyone who's ever listened to even one episode of the podcast, anyone who's even watched a YouTube video, commented, anything, it's just all of you have made this what it is today, and it's words can't express how much like that means to all of us. So
we've made it into a thing that makes 3 different dudes at about $100 a month.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thanks for the cash, bitch. What really means the most to me is the bits. If we could split bits,
just keep the bits. It'll be great.
Somebody can pay for my gas to get out to the land just one more time.
What I'm trying to say is follow my Twitch, donate to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love all of you so much.
All right.
Yeah, I guess I'll get a short one in. Yes, I am the newest member of the cast, so I do wish when we were talking about the podcast going on a hiatus, the first thing I thought was I really wish I had more time doing something like this. It was a really cool opportunity for me to go from listening to something that changed the trajectory of my life so much and end up being a part of it and being able to contribute back to it, and even just a small way, even just towards the end. But KBMOD and the people that I've met through it have been one of the few ways that I've been able to really act on like one of my biggest interests in my life, which has been video games. And meeting all these people and being able to have something else to focus on other than work has been so healing for me, because it's been I don't know very many people who play video games outside of this community. So having interests like that bottled up for so long, and then being able to be a part of a community that you can talk about video games, you can be really stupid and find people who have similar interests as you. It makes a very big difference. So I want to thank Scott and Katie and Brandon for inviting me to be on the podcast and having me here for as long as they did, and letting me give back to something that gave me a lot when I started listening, 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of course, man. Thank you for being on. We appreciate it.
He's not here. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. No, I was just gonna say, like, when it comes to Katie and there was definitely a time we've been doing this thing a long time. There's been some roster changes, big and small, throughout it. There was a time when Brandon and I were doing this thing, and we were like, we really need to get a consistent core of people. And for a little bit, it would be Brandon and I doing 2-man shows, and that was not the most fun time for us during the podcast. And so I really do feel
Brandon and I did a dual show. Holy shit! What
a terrible experience. No, but we really, it was tough to. We were like, what, should we keep it going? Are we going to be able to find people that can be on consistently that we gel with? And so I really do feel like the podcast went from somewhat being a chore during those tumultuous times, at least for me, to being like, I genuinely enjoyed doing it. And I want to make it very clear that we're not ending this cast because we aren't happy with the product, or we're like, we're bored, or we don't enjoy doing it. Like, we love fucking doing it. Like, I love doing it with Ying and KD and Brandon. Like, we have great conversations. I think we've had some of the best casts that we've ever had in the latter part of KBMOD. But it's just ending because it's just, dude, things have to end, and just timing, and things change as far as like priorities, and that's the main thing. But it has nothing to do with like us being like, yeah, like it's time to it's out to pasture. Like, I think we could have kept going if circumstances were different, but like we said, it's time to turn over a new leaf. And I just want to make that clear that we really appreciate Katie and Ying, and like I said, anybody else that has come in and filled in as like an original member, Brandon. I think we want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Just because we've been here for a minute. So
everything you said.
Yep. So
and just to say one more thing real quick. Yeah, I don't think they're here right now, but there's one person who like I definitely would not be here right now if it wasn't for them. It's AJ Likes Gaming. He's the one that he's the one that initially, it was when KBMOD was trying to get more like media stuff to put on the website, and I uploaded this like shitty PT review, and he saw that and enjoyed it, and he's the one that put my name in Slack and said, listen, this guy actually, I mean, underneath all the fucking anime shit, he's got, something there. But so yeah, huge thanks to AJ. So
all right.
I just wanted to. I'd be so chagrined if I didn't bring up AJ.
Gotcha. All right. Anybody else before we hit the stop streaming? Before Brandon hits the stop streaming button, we good? Everybody got it out.
Yeah.
The feels.
No, I wanted to say thank you to everybody for having me on the cast in the first place for the time that I was, and it kind of struck me coming into the cast for the first time in a million years, and for ostensibly the last time, that I started realizing just how many like names that I see regulars in my chat are people that I originally met at KBMOD, or maybe even became fans of KBMOD through me, or vice versa. Like there was a lot of growth here for me as a person. There was a lot of I guess, I feel bad that like I don't keep in contact with anybody, and like I don't know. I guess I got a lot on my mind because like just the other day somebody whispered me in a random stream that like fuck you for abandoning the KBMOD podcast. Like
what the fuck?
Jesus, seriously, it was like all this shit. I was like, all right, fuck you, buddy, lol. At the time, but I guess I don't know. I guess some people honestly do always see like splits that way. Like that's just how I am. Like I do something for a while, I eventually like can't do it anymore. I get bored of being there. Like I just feel like I'm boring after a while, and like I'm also not really a very personable person, which is why I don't keep in contact with anybody. So like it's not that I don't love these guys. I always do. I always have. I always will. And additional to most of the fans, some of you I can't stand, but most of you are pretty cool. Out of the vast majority, very cool. Some of you total pricks. I'm honestly gonna miss even just knowing that this cast is still around, even if I wasn't a part of it for the past couple of years.
Oh man,
I don't have any feelings because I feel like Brandon stole it from me when he told me that I couldn't play video games on Sunday. I don't feel anything.
Let the man frag.
Let him frag.
You gotta remember, I see John multiple times a week.
True.
And I now learn that he's been harboring this grudge.
Yeah,
that he's
right.
just kept to himself, for a while now.
Yeah, but while you've been doing this, I've been fragging on Sundays.
That's true. That's true. You've been a free man.
Well, now Brandon can
Free
frag
frag.
with you. Look at that, full circle. Brandon's got more time now. So, all right. Well, seriously, guys, I think we've said as much as we can. I mean, we could say more. We could just keep doing this emotional circle jerk forever.
We could
but
say
I mean,
more. It's almost like we could continue doing the podcast because we say a lot every single podcast.
We do. It's like we could keep going, but we are for real. This is going to be the last episode for like we said, indefinite future. Of course, like the Extra Life podcast, we will do. But yeah, other than that, there's not going to be a podcast on your feed every week, every Tuesday, like it has been. But thank you so much for being a part of the KBMOD podcast. If you listened, ever watched live, whatever, anything you got out of it or contributed, we really do appreciate it. And I think that's it. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I appreciate everybody coming on.
Since this will be, the last episode in your feed, especially if you're like an audio listener, this is when you got to pay attention. If you want to keep up with us, if you want to keep, doing KBMOD stuff, if you want to play games with us, if you want to interact with us, there are lots of ways you can do that. It won't be on this audio feed anymore. However, you can find us. KBMOD.com. Everything for KBMOD is there, but let me tell you where you'd really want to go.
Yeah, where you really gotta find us.
KBMOD.com/Discord is our Discord server.
Yes.
We're pretty active in there. twitter.com/KBMOD Gaming. We post stuff on Twitter, when it has to deal with KBMOD wide stuff generally. You can find us generally on Twitch and Twitter. I'm at Volition. That's VOL1TION. Scott at APL Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
KD is at KDZen_, I think on Twitch and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Ying at Yingity Yang on Twitter. Same on Twitch. Nick Fenton, I think at Infen on Twitch and Twitter, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. John is you're at John Memes, right?
Correct.
On Twitter, and who cares? He doesn't stream, so it doesn't matter what his Twitch is. And Nick Jenkins is at Blacklight Attack.
Yes.
I forget if he's LITE or LIGHT, but just Google.
LITE.
All right,
LITE.
there you go.
On Twitter and LIGHT on Twitch because y'all still won't give me /blah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's so you can find all.
I know
of us.
RSS is in the chat.
You can find all of us in those places. So definitely, please don't be strangers. Like I said, all of us, I think, pretty much live our lives on the internet for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us, literally, if the internet wasn't here, wouldn't have jobs. So you can still keep up with all of us. But don't be surprised when you don't see new episodes in this feed, because we're right here telling you where you can still keep up with us.
Right.
But I think that's about gonna do it.
That's it. All right, guys.
312 episodes.
There it is. That's a good run. It's a good run right there. We'll take
Good
that.
run. So we are going to cap it off. Scott?
Yeah, that's it. This concludes episode 312 of the KBMOD podcast. I wish I could say we'll see you guys next week, but that's a lie. This is it. We're capping it off. Again, thank you to John, Blah, and of course, Nick for coming on tonight. And from the regulars, me, Katie Zen, Ying, and Brandon, we're wishing you a farewell.
Wait. Scott, hold
Mhm.
up. I think there's one more thing that people want.
What would they
There's
want?
one
There is, yeah.
more.
Hey.
Oh, that's
Dang.
right.
These motherfuckers need some yata up in this.
Oh, really? That's really interesting that you.
The king
that's
is
a great
back.
point.
Somebody facilitate that.
Could anybody? Okay.
Give that away to give it over to Brandon.
All right, Brandon. Hey, you got something for us?
You know what? At the end of the day, when we look back on everything that we've done, there's really just one thing that we can say about
I know what you're
this
gonna fucking do.
something.
What are you gonna say?
Yatta! 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 No Nick Fenton to say yatta. Yatta! 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 Watashi wa! Yatta! 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 Yatta!
Somebody yatta for Nick.
Yatta! 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 Later, bro. Yatta! 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 Yatta!
Yada.
Yatta! 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 Watashi wa!
Yada.
Yada! Yatta! Yada! Yatta! Yada! Yatta! Yatta! Yatta!
You gotta do it. Nick's not here.
Mitsukatta! Yatta! Yatta! Yatta!
Yada.
Oh God! Why did I do this?
Oh yeah. Yada. Yada.
Yatta! このそばが一人アニメです。やったやったやったやったやった
Ooh.
やったやったやったやったやったやったやったいやー Yatta! Yatta! Make America great again! Trump! 2016!
Yatta. Ow, that hurt.
Yatta! Shit!
I knocked a water bottle over.
Yatta!
No, come on.
Listen,
All
Dad,
up this year, you can.
You got it. You got it. Just
Wouldn't-
high pitched.
Wouldn't we want to start 2017 with something new? Like 2016 it's to cap off the year. Why would
Oh
we
yeah, I
cap
think
off
you
the
want
year
to
with
end
something
with a
different?
bang.
No, I think this would be. No, I agree with Katie. I think this is the send off that this fucking year needs.
We've been
really.
building up to this pivotal moment
Yeah, this is
where
big.
Brandon says Yata or he doesn't.
I think he can do it. Let's give it a second. All right. I'm gonna stop
silence.
talking and.
Yata.
Yatta! Yeah!
Yatta.
Yatta! Yatta!
That was
Incredible. Yatta! Yatta! Yeah!
I'm just gonna leave me hanging.
Yatta! Yatta! Oh vivo! Yatta! Yatta! Yatta!
Xbox, go home.
Yatta! 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 Yatta!
That's up.
Yatta! 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 Yatta!
Yatta.
Yatta! Yatta! Yatta!
Yeah.
Yatta! 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 Owarimashita!
Don't even. I'm completely lost. You have it.
Wow.
Holy
I am amazed.
Holy fuck.
I was not ready.
Wow. That was
Can we
good.
give credit to the master?
Wow. Yes.
Oh yeah.
That was total. Honest, I
Sublime.
didn't even ask my my friend and editor extraordinaire, Crazed 547, who does amazing work for me. He did this on his own. Like nobody asked him. He just went and downloaded every episode with every Yata he could possibly find, and put them all together in a compilation. And I mean, you heard it.
That was
It's incredible.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So
That
yeah,
was the first time. That was the first time we listened to that, by the way.
yeah, that was the first time for pretty much all of us. So
That's great.
I hope you enjoyed. What a way to cap it. And Craze, seriously, man, you're the best. Follow him on Twitter at Craze547. He's on my streams.
Incredible fucking work.
If you
He's
need any
one of
work
the most
done, hit the
talented.
man up.
Oh yeah.
Super talented. We'll have to make that link of Well, we'll let him decide where you want to put that. We can post that on the website. People could download it, or SoundCloud or something. We'll put
My
it.
ring-
somewhere.
Roll down the street with that shit blasting.
I love the rapid fire ones. Just yatta, yatta, yatta.
And then the random super long ones. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one from like a speedrunner who said, "Yatta!"
Yeah, that's fucking screaming.
oh, fuck,
So
man.
good.
So there you go.
right.
Thank you again, Craze, for that. And I think we're going to leave for real. So thank you all. All right.
Right.
See you later.
Right.
Later.
Bye.
3, 2, 1.
Yata!